If you've ever woken up in the morning and you've looked at the mountain of stuff that you have to do that day and said to yourself, I got this, you're a wizard. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. It is Tuesday. It's a T3 Tuesday. We got more news breaking here. We got the markets pulling back, OpenAI not hitting its usage targets, and that's got the semis in a tizzy here today. They're all trading down, and they're bringing the NASDAQ with it. How will the market finish today? What other news will impact trading? How are we doing with some of these hyperscaler earnings that are due out tomorrow, plus the Fed meeting? A lot to cover, a lot to go over. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Monday night. It is Tuesday, and it is time to go again. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Tuesday edition for April 28th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. We're back for another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Get you ready for the day, and it looks like we may have an interesting day on deck for us here today. Hopefully, we're not dealing with technology gremlins. I spent a lot of work trying to chase them down yesterday. We'll see how it goes, but big shout out to our producer, who helped me on the show, after the show, and of course between the show, and then also 13 for handling it. We'll hope we have a little bit smoother sailing here today. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. We start with Robert, who is first here today. Robert, welcome back. Early bird gets the worm. Hopefully you're ready. Let me know what's on your list here today, boss. Solidary Soldier, good morning. Welcome back. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Zach, good morning. Get those eggs ready. There you go, Zach. Crispy Biscuit, good morning. Corey, it's great to see you as always. Good morning and welcome back. Kelly, good morning. Welcome back. Producer, again, thanks for all you do, especially your tech help. It's not even part of your job description. You're just good at it. It is what it is. Astro Kev, good morning. Kev, were you the Kev in happy hour yesterday asking about Xena? Let me know. I know I should probably know, but the handle's different than the full name. I don't know if you want me to use the full name on the public internet, blah, blah, blah. So just let me know if you're the Kev from yesterday. The Kev from yesterday in happy hour was saying that Xena, Z-E-N-A, isn't really moving a whole lot. And I said, it does look like it's at some support, and it's got some earnings coming pretty soon. I have an update for you. Earnings tomorrow morning. And after the earnings come out, we're actually going to be talking to Linda again, Linda Montgomery. So we're going to bring back someone from the company to talk about those earnings and what's next. So if that was you, okay, excellent. I've got good news for you. Stay tuned. Wednesday morning after Tim Melvin, we're going to be talking to a Xena executive there about their earnings. So we'll see if you finally get some movement. I have no idea what she's going to say, but there will be news that day. So hopefully it works in your favor. Stick around for that. Should be fun. Pot G, good afternoon. It's great to see you again. Welcome back from across the pond. Absolutely love it and love your dedication and your support. And as a reminder, we have people from all over the world here. Do me a favor and smash the like for that, because we're able to get a global audience here, global perspectives, and all of that. So smash up the like for my guy Pot G and anyone else that joins us here in the morning, but of course outside the United States. Jim, good morning, welcome back. Ryan, good morning, welcome back. Richard, good morning, welcome back. Ed, good morning. Let's get going here. Akanda Williams, good morning. Carlos, good morning, welcome back. Bernhard, good morning. JB, good morning. Ed says, I can't wait for the PTD rule. I'm assuming that's what you mean, the PTD rule to change. Yeah, I bet there's a lot of folks that can't wait for that to change. I know day trading has become more and more popular, and unless you have at least 25K, they make it awfully hard for you to do that. So I can't wait for that. You know, we've had a couple of discussions in happy hour about, is this actually going to change the market? Like, are we going to see more participation? Are we going to see more volatility? I'd like to get an idea from the group on what you folks think on that. I think this is a stupid rule, frankly, and I'm glad to see it go away. I would have loved for it to have gone away when I was under the $25,000 threshold. That probably would have made it better for me, but that's neither here nor there. Whisk, good morning, welcome back. Dirkus, good morning, welcome back. Reggie, good morning, welcome back. PDT rule in effect on Webull already. So you mean the elimination of it is in effect on Webull? As in, if you have a Webull brokerage, you don't have to adhere to that? Clarify that for me. Buffalo by Bicycle, good morning, welcome back. Cam, good morning. Great to see you again. Welcome back. Maverick, good morning. Welcome back. Von Rivera, great to see you again as well. Welcome back. Graf, good morning. Unpopular Truth, good morning. Empyrean, good morning. Good to see you as always, brother. Linda, good morning. Tyler, good morning. Another Tyler. Boy, we got the Tylers here today. Absolutely love it. Good morning. Are we finally pulling back? We'll see. We'll take a look at that SPY chart here shortly. Doc, good morning. Welcome back. Janie, good to see you as always. Welcome back. Rise, good morning. Welcome back. Tom, good to see you. Feeling good. Walked in with the team. Let's make some money. That is exactly the attitude that we need here today, Tom. We are looking at red arrows here, so it should make relative strength easier to find. Always glass half full on days like this. Kelly, good morning. Welcome back. Lion Atlas, good morning. It's great to see you as always. Welcome back, and let's go indeed. Cam, good morning. Welcome back. G-Cord, good morning. Welcome back. Who else am I missing? Robot to Trade, good morning. Welcome back. Rise Gamer, I'm ready to gamble my whole life savings. Let's not do that. Let's not gamble your life savings. Let's be strategic about growing your life savings. You could always buy dividend stocks and just sit on it for some time and make some more money. Reggie says the 25K threshold on Webull is no longer needed. Okay, there you go. That should be coming to the other brokerages soon. Ranger Rider, or Ranges Rider, good morning from Shanghai. How is the weather in Shanghai? Thank you for joining us from Asia. Hope you are well. Crispy Biscuit says, Schwab, I think they reported that June 9th they will drop the PDT rule. Excuse me. So just over a month for Schwab and all you Thinker Swim users, it sounds like. Good deal. Yassine, good morning. Good to see you again. CJ, good morning. Good to see you again. Cam, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Tess, good morning. Let's go. Pachi says, I think it will bring more volume. That's kind of where I sit. My only reservation about that is how much volume is retail actually going to bring? And when you put that against the institutional backdrop, is it actually going to be noticeable? You're probably right, but something else to keep in mind there. Okay, Lion says we're in a casino, but we don't gamble. That's right. We're going to put things in our advantage line, and we're going to try to make better trades on that. Big Grip, good morning. Welcome back. All right, I'm ready to strategically gamble my whole life savings. Rise Gamer, did you play Rise in League of Legends? Is that where this is coming from? Let me know. In any case, don't gamble your life savings away. Let's grow your net wealth. Or your net worth and wealth. All right, folks, let's get started with our stock market today. All right, stock Market futures under pressure Tuesday morning. This is on the back of OpenAI not hitting its usage targets. That was a report initially by the Wall Street Journal, and that is absolutely impacting the entire market here today. S&P futures down 0.7%. Dow futures are actually up, so I apologize. Mixed there. Dow futures are up. They are off their highs, but they are still holding green by 0.17%. They're a little bit higher here earlier this morning. NASDAQ, as you would expect, leading the way lower at minus 1.28%. All right, let's take a look at some cues from last session, as well as some insights and some stocks to watch here for you. Communication services, financials, and information technology stocks finished the session higher on Monday, whereas most sectors across the S&P 500 ended negatively. U.S. stocks were swinging between gains and losses on Tuesday morning following Monday's mixed close. Futures of the major benchmark indices were mixed. The White House confirmed that President Trump discussed with his national security team a new proposal by Iran for ending the war. Quote, "I wouldn't say they're considering it. I would just say that there was a discussion this morning that I don't want to get ahead of, and you'll hear directly from the president." End quote. That came from White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt. Meanwhile, this week on Wednesday, investors will be closely watching the Federal Reserve's meeting to gauge how the central bank is navigating interest rates amid the ongoing U.S.-Iran conflict. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.36%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.82%. The CME Group's FedWatch tool projections show that the markets are still pricing in a 100% likelihood of the Federal Reserve leaving the current interest rates unchanged in its Wednesday meeting. Now, we've got several stocks in focus here for you today. The first one is going to be Big Blue, IBM. International Business Machines was up 0.36% in the pre-market on Tuesday after it unveiled IBM Bob to help enterprise teams modernize software with governed AI workflows. Who's ready for an AI guy named Bob? Apparently anyone that is going to use IBM service. The next stock here, I beg your pardon, is going to be Bed Bath & Beyond. And the ticker on this one is BBBY. It surged 23.41% after the CEO, Marcus Lemonis, said in the first quarter earnings call that its multi-year turnaround strategy is beginning to show measurable progress as its operating costs dropped to their lowest in over 10 years. Bed Bath & Beyond also reported a Q1 adjusted EPS of a 25-cent loss, which was in line with projections. Sales of $247.75 million beat the estimate of $240.09 million. The next stock on our list is going to be BP, ticker BP, and it was up 3.26% after it reported strong first quarter 2026 earnings. It reported a Q1 adjusted EPS of 124 and sales of 52.255 billion beat the 45.65 billion estimate. The next stock on our list is going to be Sanmina, and the ticker on this one is SANM. It jumped 15.75% after reporting better than expected second quarter financial results and issuing fiscal year 2026 earnings guidance above estimates. Sanmina Q2 adjusted EPS of 316 beat the 240 estimate, big beat there, and sales of 4.01 billion, beat the 3.285 billion estimate. So a big beat on the top and the bottom line there. Sanmina sees a Q3 adjusted EPS of 255 to 285. That was versus an estimate of 253. And they also see sales of 3.2 billion to 3.5 billion. That was versus an estimate of 3.522 billion. So a little bit light there on that Q3 adjusted sales guide. The next stock in our list, and actually the last stock on the list here for today, is going to be Rambus. And the ticker here is RMBS. This is another semi name, and it dropped 14.6% after reporting mixed fourth quarter results after Monday's closing bell. Quarterly earnings of 63 cents per share missed the consensus estimate of 64 cents per share, while revenue came in at 180.19 million. That beat the street estimate of 177.93 million. All right, let's get back to the SPY chart here and see where we are and where we might be going next. Now, Yesterday, it felt like we were breaking out, right? We set a new all-time high. We traded out of the sideways formation that we've put in over the past couple of weeks, but we did so on, and let's just be honest here, let's call it what it is. We did so on pathetic volume. The SPY had traded less than 30 million shares right before the close, and with the market makers pairing off those shares on the close, we ended up just barely breaching 30 million shares traded on the day. As you can see by the volume sticks on the daily candle, this is significantly lower, showing you that this is almost a show me setup by the market, and traders might not be banking on a full-fledged breakout here. Given what we know about what's going on with the macro picture, whether it be interest rates, the price of oil, the conflict in the Middle East, or any combination thereof, we understand why some folks might not be buying this move here at all-time highs. Market inevitably is going to tell us where we're going next. Now, today we're pulling back, and I think a lot of this has to do with the OpenAI headline that we've got and talked about here. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in a sec. I think it probably also plays into Rambus missing yesterday. So one of the semi names, not one of the big stalwarts, but one of the semi names also missing its earnings report. Now, looking at where we are here, while we're pulling back and the arrows look ugly here in the pre-market, we've pulled back all the way down to the 710.5 level. And if you recall, 710 has been an intraday level that the SPY has kind of danced around the past couple of sessions. And we're basically backtesting that. That's the middle of the sideways range, as you can see on the chart right here. Furthermore, I do think that if we continue to move down, we will likely retest the breakout trend line. This value has been increasing slightly each day as the trend line is upward sloping, but we have this at about 705.5. So I would say that if we continue to fall here, I'd really be looking for 705 to 706 as being one of those support levels. Will it hold? We'll wait and see what the market gives us here. The one other thing that I will add about the low volume here is that if we get a big headline that draws in a bunch of market participants and it's bad and we start moving down here, I actually think we can move through some of these support levels pretty quickly because, again, we traded up through them on relatively light volume. So if we get scared selling volume coming in, I think we could probably blow through some of these. If we do break this trend line, I would be looking at the previous all-time high level. I've got that at about 696, 697. And then furthermore, we have the downward sloping trend line that connected some of the highs after we made the all-time high. The one other thing, as if I haven't thrown enough at you here, but the one other thing to keep in mind is that we have a very steeply sloped upward 20-day moving average. And so if we pull back here and pull back slowly, the 20-day moving average is eventually going to come up and support the price. And will that act as another support level when it gets there? Probably. We'll see how sticky it actually is. All right, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Let's get you set here for the trading day. LPL Financials suggests that an American industrial renaissance is currently underway, and that is supported by convergence of structural forces rather than just political rhetoric. The firm identifies three primary drivers: supply chain resilience, bipartisan industrial policy, and a domestic energy advantage. Economically, this is evidenced by U.S. manufacturing construction spending surging to roughly $200 billion by early 2026, and capacity expanding for 51 consecutive months. However, they caution that this shift is a selective industrial realignment rather than a wholesale deglobalization. While the outlook for the manufacturing sector is robust, they remain skeptical about the corresponding surge in jobs, noting that, quote, modern high-tech manufacturing, end quote, relies heavily on robotics and autonomous processes. Regarding market strategy, LPL's Strategic and Tactical Asset Allocation Committee, or STAC, STAAC, has moved to modest overweight in equities, citing improved forward-looking risk-reward following the recent market weakness. Interesting. They specifically favor the industrials and technology sectors. For investors, they suggest that implementation is key, stating, quote, successfully building exposure in portfolios will require distinguishing between companies with global industrial exposure and the most directly levered to domestic manufacturing. So LPL making a call here that domestic manufacturing might be the next spot there, but still throwing a bone to tech. And also saying that the recent move down here in some of those names, like some of the software names that did enter bear territory when they pulled back 30% from their highs, might be ready to go. We'll see how that ends up playing out here. Okay, now the big story of the day. Let me get you caught up here. OpenAI's key revenue user growth reportedly falters. And this, of course, is spiking concerns for the upcoming IPO. And we're seeing some of that fear reverberate in some of the other hyperscaler names, as well as some of those blue chip AI names that we look at every single day here. This is indeed why the futures are down. OpenAI has reportedly not been able to meet its set targets for revenue and new users, which of course raises questions about its ability to maintain high data center costs. I think just really quickly as I pause there, I think one of the themes that we're going to see through this earnings season, but also going forward with a lot of the AI related names is there actually a return on the investment? So we talked a lot about the CapEx spending and how expensive or how much money that they're spending early on. And now we're starting to get reports that, OpenAI, ChatGPT parent is maybe not making as much as they thought or not hitting some of their targets. So is that investment actually going to show a return? That's definitely something that can spook the market here. The Sam Altman-led company's failure to meet its own targets has caused concern among company leaders. Company's CFO, Sarah Fryer, has expressed worries about the company's ability to afford computing contracts in the future if revenue growth stalls. And again, this was all according to the Wall Street Journal. The company's board of directors have been scrutinizing data center deals and questioning Altman's efforts to secure more computing power amid the business slowdown, raising doubts ahead of the potential IPO. And again, that came directly from the report. OpenAI also missed its targets for 1 billion weekly ChatGPT users in annual revenue, largely due to strong competition from Alphabet, ticker GOOG and GOOGL, from competition from Alphabet's Google Gemini. No mention of Perplexity and Claude, although those are very popular as well. Executives are prioritizing cost controls and discipline, sometimes clashing with the CEO, while the company faces high subscriber churn, according to the Wall Street Journal. OpenAI did not immediately respond to Benzinga's request for comments, but as always, I will update you if we do hear back on all of that. OpenAI had previously projected a significant increase in advertising revenue, expecting it to hit 2.5 billion this year and a staggering 100 billion by 2030. However, the company's recent failure to meet its targets raises questions about these ambitious projections. Earlier this year, OpenAI reported it expects to spend roughly 600 billion on computing power through 2030. The current situation may further impact these plans. Furthermore, OpenAI's recent amendment of partnership terms with Microsoft, ticker MSFT, could also have implications for its revenue and user targets. Under the new terms, OpenAI will have the ability to serve its products across any cloud provider, potentially affecting its revenue share payments to Microsoft. So I guess the only question that I have here is, are we starting to see some chinks in the armor? Are we starting to see maybe some of the fear proliferate through some of the AI names? Like, hey, maybe we went too far, too fast on all of this. Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking here. Daniel's saying revenues may also be affected by Claude and Anthropic. They're beating the market right now. And indeed, I totally agree with that. I know that the story and the report cited Google Gemini, but Daniel, I mean, at least in my own usage and as well as obviously the way you think here, I absolutely think Claude and Perplexity are one of the reasons that they're not making all of this. Now, I talk to ChatGPT users all the time. They love it. They make some really cool things with it. But at least in my own corner of the universe and my usage of AI, I'm definitely trying to do more building. And there's no question that Claude and Perplexity do a better job than ChatGPT does. But that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, this is the big story of the day. And this is dragging things down. In fact, a quick check on S&P futures down 0.72%. Now, it actually looks like they tried to bounce and couldn't. So we'll see if that changes here. Okay. Lion says, I keep saying don't chase this flying market and take profit. And that is a perfect segue to our next story. Tom Lee predicts that the S&P 500 above 7,700 is, quote, very probable, end quote, as the market clears early year risks. Lion, we have to do both sides. I absolutely love that we have some back and forth here. That makes me really, really happy. Despite ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, market strategist Tom Lee believes the U.S. equities are poised for significant gains. After the S&P 500 hit fresh highs on Monday, he projects that it will clear the 7,700 mark this year, driven by resilient economic data and corporate productivity. Speaking to CNBC, Lee noted that investors have successfully navigated the three major hurdles at the start of the year: a potential escalation in the Middle East, private credit concerns, and Federal Reserve uncertainty. Instead of buckling under pressure, the market is actively looking past these political events. Quote, we've come out on the other side of this Iran war with the economy showing remarkable strength, end quote. That again was from Tom Lee. He emphasized that with corporate earnings estimates trending upward and structural fears regarding software-tied private credit subsidizing, the foundation for stocks is exceptionally solid. Summarizing his bullish outlook, he definitively declared, quote, I think S&P above 7,700 is very probable, end quote. Let me pause right there, Lion. Let me just take the temperature of the group. And producer, I'm sure that you had a poll ready because you're just an ace. But if you don't, or if we need a second one, maybe we should start polling for S&P year-end targets here. Get the temperature of the group, figure out what the range is, and see if there's anything that we can extract from that. Just an idea. Lion, I would especially like to hear what you have to say about the 7,700 target that Tom Lee is going off here. Also, Cam saying the market has been too dependent on one sector, the first sign of a problem, boom. Now, here's the thing about that, Cam. I believe that you're talking about AI and information technology and all of that. But what I would say is that energy has actually been the biggest performing sector or the best performing sector this year. And the caveat there is that AI plays into the energy sector. So how do you want to slice that? How do you want to do all of the calculus on that? I'll leave that one up to you. Beyond simply surviving early year threats, Lee highlighted artificial intelligence as a major catalyst that is actively delivering tangible productivity and business growth. However, he cautioned that energy prices remain a crucial variable for the market. Lee outlined two vastly different scenarios. A worst-case extended conflict could trigger a severe drawdown in global inventory, dramatically spiking prices and putting widespread global growth at risk. Conversely, if tensions ease quickly, it would remove the hostile oil premium that has been priced in for a long time, naturally allowing broader equity markets to lift even higher. To navigate the remaining market volatility, Lee acknowledged the logic behind a sleep like a baby portfolio, a defensive strategy advocating for equal 25% allocation across stocks, bonds, cash, and commodities. So the first thing that I want to ask the group here is, how many of you have a, quote, sleep like a baby portfolio? I would imagine that none of you do from talking to you, or at least some of you have things that help you sleep better at night. Let me know if you're going through this allocation. Because technology and energy sectors often act as effective counter hedges against one another, Lee agreed that this highly diversified approach makes a lot of sense right now. He noted that incorporating total return performers like gold, looking at you, Lion, he mentioned gold, that was just for you, alongside crypto, provides a logical safety net for investors who want to balance risk while remaining exposed to the market's continued upward trajectory. So what do you think about the highs? Do you think 7,700 is reasonable? Do you think it's even possible? Where do you think we are going from here? Tyler says 90% of my portfolio are long-term great companies that aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Tyler, I think that's the way to go. Lion says the market will go higher long-term, but I see a pullback and a correction after the Mag 7 earnings this week. Okay, that's great, Lion, because that is extremely specific, right? You're basically saying, hey, we are going to have a near-term pullback here, but ultimately we're going to go higher. That also, in addition to giving me a time frame for your pullback, that also tells me that you're most likely looking to buy the dip on that pullback. Cool. Another story here real quick before we get to our T3 guest. Bayer's stock, and I know that this is a 4-in-1. It's on the OTC market. Bayer's stock plunges as the Supreme Court wrestles with the Roundup cancer suits. I don't know how many of you follow this story. I've been following this for a while. Thought that this update here would be interesting for you. Bayer AG, and again, the ticker on this one is BAYRY, and it is on the OTC market. Shares took a steep dive late Monday afternoon as the U.S. Supreme Court grappled with whether to shield the chemical giant from tens of thousands of cancer lawsuits involving its popular weed killer Roundup. According to the Washington Post report, the justices are deliberating whether federal pesticide regulations preempt state-level claims that Monsanto, which Bayer acquired, failed to warn consumers about Roundup's alleged cancer risks. Although the court appeared to lean towards restricting the lawsuits, Bayer's stock plunged just before the closing bell, dropping from $11.20 to $10.70. The sharp market reaction underscores the enormous financial stakes of the courtroom debate. Now, this ruling will determine the trajectory of one of the largest mass tort litigations in U.S. history, involving more than 100,000 lawsuits and costing Bayer approximately $11 billion in settlements to date. The legal battle focuses on the Environmental Protection Agency's long-standing position that glyphosate, Roundup's active ingredient, is not carcinogenic to humans. Monsanto argues it cannot be penalized for omitting a label the federal government never mandated. The specific case before the justices involves John Durnell, a man who was awarded $1.25 million by a jury after developing non-Hodgkin lymphoma following decades of Roundup use. Despite the push for uniform federal labeling, some justices questioned the broader impact of eliminating corporate accountability at the state level. Defending the necessity of these lawsuits, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson noted that, quote, the threat of tort liability is one thing that spurs the manufacturers to go to the EPA and make sure that they're giving them this information, end quote. And that was per the Washington Post. While the American Farm Bureau Federation warns that restricting Roundup could pose a devastating risk to the nation's food supply, environmental groups maintain that prioritizing corporate immunity over public health is an unacceptable trade-off. Now, as mentioned, Bayer plunged 4.46% to 1070 on Monday. Data shows it was actually down 1.02% on a year-to-date basis and up 33.42% over the past 6 months. It has also been up 61.88% over the year. So we'll see what happens with that, and then we'll see if the decision from this then has other implications on U.S. traded food companies or chemical companies. We'll see which direction that goes. All right, folks, it's Tuesday. I know it's one of the best days of the week. And as we showed yesterday, one of the most profitable days in fact, the most profitable day of the week. Perhaps that's because of our excellent T3 guests. We've got another one for you here today. Let's go ahead and bring on J.R. Romero. JR, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Ryan. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing really good, my man. Doing really good here. And I can see you and hear you great here today. That's absolutely fabulous. Let me just get started here with paying the bills, as they say. Learn about JR's secret team that is dominating the pre-market today, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. QR code is on the screen. We'll also throw the link in the chat there for you. All right, JR, let me just start with this. I want you to go in whatever direction you want. You've been fantastic the last time that you've come on here. You're almost a good luck charm for the group because we get a whole bunch of really good movement in some of these stocks. You do a really good job covering them. But we've got big earnings here this week, right? We've got a lot of the hyperscalers here this week. We also have the Fed, and we've got SanDisk on Thursday. So what are you looking at? What are you trading leading up to these earnings? And do you have a plan for after the earnings?
My opinion is as far as tech earnings, the market's already looking past them, assuming positive results for the most part. I think what looms over the market. I think the market always climbs the walls of worries, or wall of worry rather. And I think the big monkey on the market's back is twofold. One is the fact that we've been unable thus far to reach an agreement with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And subsequently, and I was talking to my traders about this morning, I think very few people realize what the third order effects of that are going to be, because as you may or may not know, the actual wells pumping all this oil out of Iran, if they don't find a place to deposit all of that production, and they actually have to shut down wells for any significant amount of time, it renders the well useless forever, which, as you can imagine, could have very significant long-term effects on oil price and could spell a potential oil shock. And the third order inflationary effects of that, I'm sure you're very familiar with. So I think that's really something that the market is starting to wrap its head around. I was talking to my just as an experiment, I was talking to my traders, and I said, how many of you guys know that once an oil well, once an oil well stops pumping, that it becomes in danger of being completely rendered completely useless for forever, and very few people were aware of that. And so as a collective, I'm not sure how much the market has truly priced that in or become aware of that. So I think that we have a real potential oil shock fear coming our way. Mm-hmm. You had the UAE announcing that they were exiting OPEC today. So just a tremendous amount of instability around the entire sector.
Okay, now how are you trading all of this, and do you have any charts that you want to share that we can take a look at?
Sure. So okay. Pardon my Neolithic standard for interfaces here. Let's see. I go to
Neolithic standard for interfaces. I like that. Haven't heard that one before.
I'm a UX Neanderthal. Okay, so this is USCG yesterday, for example, right? This is rather, it's not a super small float. So this started to hit our scanners early yesterday, and the stock went completely bananas. We entered, I think, 115 and exited the 150s and 60s. So these are the kinds of oil-related moves we're seeing in the market. Another one we've been trading for the last couple of months is BATL, mm-hmm. Italian Oil Corporation. Mm-hmm. And when this thing moves in the pre-market, it really moves. So we've been trading the pre-market a lot. But also, this is a big move. It's a very cheap name, obviously.
It popped in the pre-market today. So is this on watch for you today?
It's been on watch for us. Some of my traders took it. We were looking at other things this morning. This morning we were looking at MLEC. Now I'm historically not a huge pre-market guy, but something's changed in this market. Something's really changed in this market in the past 6 months or so. SKYQ we were looking at. This is the one we traded this morning. So
Sky Q.
all these tickers, they kind of like blend into one in my mind. But anyways, yeah. So we took SKYQ from the 60s, some of the sixes to the high sevens, and they're very fast moves. We're catching 20-30% moves on these names quickly. So my momentum traders are absolutely thrilled. We're hitting profit targets on the day before 8 o'clock almost every morning. It's been a real hoot. We're doing traditionally we've had the regular start at 9 o'clock, and which has been great. But ever since the market changed, I don't know if it's more retail traders or more algorithmic trading in the pre-market, but we've just been seeing such a wealth of opportunities in the pre-market that we decided to actually start a completely different service to take advantage of that. And we sit down around 6 a.m. Eastern. My moderators are up around 5:30 getting prepped. And we do a combination of things. We trade the pre-market, but we also offer traders that want like a very thorough market preparation, a 3-hour slab of time in which we actually go over story by story. We analyze the stories are going to be real catalysts for the day. We catch news flow in the morning. We lay out levels, pre-market levels, GEX levels, things like that. We look at the key index levels, and we really prep together. So it gives traders an opportunity to prep with a set of professional traders. And I think that it's been really exciting for a lot of our traders because they get to see how a professional trader gets ready for the day.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I would say that that's totally valuable. Do you have any of those SPY or index levels that you want to go over here today? That'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Every day's a pop quiz with you, Ryan. It's unbelievable, this guy.
I asked the hard questions here, JR.
Yeah, so here's what we said today. We said intraday in the pre-market here in the overnight session, we said if the S&Ps took out, the SPOOs took out 71.89, that we were most likely going to have a measured move lower. So you can see here, this is first leg of the move, right? You copy that over, and look at that. Black magic. There's a second leg of the move right there. So that was one of our calls. The other one was that the key level of polarity support in the market this morning was going to be our main point of control in the S&P 500 mini futures, which is 71.62. So as long as we stay under 71.62 here, meaning if we retrace here, well, we're currently printing 71.54. So if we go up 8 handles here and fail the retracement, it could get very ugly. Okay, so let me go to a smaller time frame here. So if off the open here we retrace and fail here multiple times, we're going to be building a bearish base and see a potential much more serious liquidation here, which is a concern. I'm a little bit more skeptical about this market than a lot of my peers, and I'm seeing real potential for a more serious pullback. We called the top of the SMH. I see a short-term top of the SMH yesterday. Went long the SOXS as a way to short the SMH, and it's already paying dividends for 10-12% overnight. So
that resistance area there that you kind of drew the line up against, is that 71.50-ish?
71.62.
71.62.
So
okay,
you can see here the most traded volume. The most traded volume since April 17th here. And this is basically, if you look at the larger overall trend, we were trending higher through here, right? Made a climactic high, had a retest, and then a secondary test right here. So we call this a potential recumulative zone, right? We're going sideways here, and we keep on testing these lows around 70.84 without without really going any higher. So, this was, we call this a sort of phase C spring. It's a final shakeout before trend continuation. And, we saw continuation of this trend here. But today we're seeing something that concerns me technically for the market. And that's that the key most traded level at 7163 right here has been violated. So is a high degree of likelihood that we're going to see 71.29 retested today. And if that can't hold, we're looking at 81 to 85 down here. So definitely a risky area for the market. And given how overextended the SMH is, which and how strong NVIDIA is, I always tell my traders, guys, you don't want to trade NVIDIA all-time highs. You want to sell NVIDIA all-time highs, because that's usually a sign of a top. And if you look at the SMH here, this is the SMH. So you can see the massive two-wave corrective lower here as it broke new highs. And on this day right here, I was warning my traders that we're probably seeing a top in the SMH, and it's time to this is Monday and this is Friday, that it's probably time, if you're long a lot of semiconductors, that it's probably time to hedge in. And if you're flat, it's probably a good time to enter some shorts, because if you look at this daily chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is an impossible move to maintain higher. This is climactic much. Now we're gapping lower here. We're filling this gap from Thursday right here, this little high wave candle. So these are the cycles of the market that we just have to respect, right?
And it actually looks like you're in good company there. Michael Burry took a short on the SMH yesterday, buying out of the money puts, according to one of our viewers here. So
we say unprecedented a lot these days. This is unprecedented, but when it's really not. This move is actually unprecedented. So we jumped on the short there. This is, I see a lot of people complaining a lot about the market, but in my opinion, the market's never been better. Platforms are great, execution's fantastic, commissions are cheap.
Let me ask you really quickly on that, if you don't mind sharing, what platform do you use for execution? Because from time to time, we have varying different users in here that report problems, whether it be Webull or Schwab or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, I'm not a platform salesman, but I use the trading platform I use is DOS Trader, and I run Cobra Trading as my broker. I also have Centerpoint and Lightspeed. They're all great traders. But if you're going to be trading aggressively in this market, one recommendation I always have for people is go direct access. You get what you pay for, and if you actually add up all the slippage you get with these cheaper retail platforms, at the end of the day, you're not saving any money. You think you are, but you're not.
Okay, that's a really good tip there. That actually might be something for me to look into. I still use Schwab. Appreciate that. Folks, learn about JR's secret team that's dominating the pre-market today. Excuse me. You can learn about that 4:30 p.m. Eastern today. QR code is on the screen. Go ahead and scan it. JR, do you have any thought on SanDisk in particular, but any of the memory names? I know we just kind of talked about semis, but what about some of these memory names that also, at least to some of our group, looked like they made unsustainable moves higher?
Yeah, so storage names are not semiconductor names. So this is we had a measured move target to 975 and then 1,000 in March, and this is a classic type of Wyckoff recumulative schematic, where you have a push in January to 719, a retest around value area low. So this is your area of value for buyers. and a higher pivot low. Michael Kamo at T3 asked me, what do you think about SanDisk here? Everyone was shorting SanDisk down here. And I think this is pure insanity. We can clearly see a higher pivot low. This is your final shakeout. Get ready for a move to 1,000. And then everyone thought Uncle JR had finally lost it. What are you talking about? I said, this is as much of a fundamental story as it is an obvious technical pattern that's forming here, and you have to pay attention. These guys are booked 4 years out, and they can't put factories together fast enough, and they're executing. I got a target at 1,000 and then 1,300. Which looks like we're going to get to here eventually. Obviously, this can't continue if the market takes a dive.
Sure.
But as long as the SPX holds 7,000 and goes sideways or higher, I believe SNDK is going to reach the $1,300 target.
Okay, that's amazing. Uncle JR certainly has not lost his mind. That's really
not
really
today.
Not today.
Not today, right?
Really good breakdown there. Thanks for the levels. Thanks for the thoughts here. Is there anything else that you want to mention or cover before we let you go for today?
Sure. I'm a big believer in trading education. I think part of the reason I do this job, after trading institutionally and privately for almost 30 years, is that I think that the individual trader, the retail trader, has been really maligned by the industry. You're sold a lot of courses without truly understanding the application of the analysis that's being taught. You're taught patterns in a vacuum and indicators in a vacuum, without really understanding what really moves markets, which are catalysts, sentiment, and intermarket relationships. So, my mission working at T3 has been really to re-educate traders into understanding how markets really work. So this pre-market preparation we're doing every morning is an attempt to give people a glimpse into what a team of professionals is actually thinking, how they analyze catalysts, how they think about the relationships that are going to move the market, and the actual real technical levels that are going to be key on the day. And while we get some pre-market runs to really be able to hop on those and participate, I share my actual platform chart when we have a runner, and my time in sales, so they can read tape with me. And it's been a hoot, and I think it's been helpful to traders to get a glimpse into how a professional actually trades the pre-market, which is not the same thing as trading regular hours. There's a lot of tricks to that trade.
Definitely.
And so far it's been fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Awesome stuff there, folks. Learn more about JR's secret team that's dominating the pre-market today, 4:30. QR code on the screen. Go ahead and scan it. JR, we really appreciate you waking up and sharing some time here with us. Look forward to the next time when we get to hear about all the different ways that crazy Uncle JR lost his mind, but actually ended up making a pile of money. So that should be good. Have a good Tuesday, and we'll follow up with you next time.
Great talking to you, Ryan.
All right, that is JR Romero from T3. These guys are incredible. They do it all the time. Really good stuff there. Lots of good levels on the stuff that we are looking at there, as well as a trading plan to boot. So we thank JR for that. All right, let's keep moving along here. Where are we at? We're 8 minutes ahead of the hour. We are doing good. I got one more story for you. This is also on a sector that we have been talking about a little bit. This is a short one. Then we can do a tweet. And I think we'll probably be ready for pre-market playbook pre-market pulse at that point. This one here, though, this is on USAR, right? This is on rare earth. USA rare earth stock momentum score surges as the company shifts its production into Stillwater. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. USA rare earth, or ticker USAR, the stock saw a sharp surge in its momentum score, jumped from 14.5 to 90.22 on a week-over-week basis. Of course, a momentum score is a measure that tracks the strength of a stock price trend over time based on recent price changes and trading volume, and it helps indicate how strong the current upward or downward movement is. Now, USA Rare Earth announced that it has transitioned from a development into an active production following its commissioning of Phase 1A of its commercial magnet line in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is marking a key milestone in the manufacturing build-out, according to Simplywall. The company also expanded its supply chain strategy through investments, including a stake in French rare earth processor Carester, SAS, as part of its broader mine-to-magnet vertical integration plan. In addition, USA Rare Earth created a new chief commercial officer role, a CCO role, and appointed industry veteran Chetan Kansal to focus on customer developments and long-term supply agreements. USA Rare Earth agreed to acquire Sierra Verde in Brazil for $300 million in cash and stock, which strengthened its access to key rare earth materials outside Asia. The company said the deal had expanded its integrated supply chain from mining to magnet production and secured long-term supply through the existing offtake agreement. The transaction was expected to close in the third quarter of 2026, subject to approvals. Now, traders outside our group are also taking notice of this. Trader Antonio Costa posted on X that USAR is setting up in a bull flag pattern, and income sharks highlighted a strong bullish narrative driven by the rising demand for rare earths and AI and semiconductors, with expectations of significant revenue growth in the coming years. So again, this is a stock that we look at all of the time. Let's actually go back to the chart while we're at it here. Let me go ahead and share that. We'll pull up USAR. Sounds like there's a bull case being made for this, as well as a potential bull flag on the chart. Now, we have fib levels from the last time it made its meteoric rise. We definitely are looking at about 28.5 and 30 as the next potential levels. If we break above that, we're probably looking at 32 and then 37 to 38 as the next level higher. Okay, 5 minutes ahead of the hour. Got one more here to do. I promise. This is the last one. It is about NVIDIA. And then we'll go ahead and do a street tweet, and then we'll break down all of the movers. So get ready. Also, if there are tickers that you want to see for ticker time, or you want us to take a look at levels, we can do that for you as well coming up here. Now, Jim Cramer, making more news here, says NVIDIA sellers disappeared as the stock popped yesterday. Let's see what he has to say here today, shall we? This is from yesterday. Jim Cramer on Monday highlighted a sudden shift in sentiment around NVIDIA, noting that bearish traders appear to have vanished as selling pressure dried up. Maybe he didn't get the note that it was very low volume yesterday. This potentially signals a renewed bullish momentum for the AI chip giant stock. Now, on X, or in a post on X, the market commentator said, quote, "These sellers of NVIDIA just disappeared," and he even opted to use an exclamation point, end quote. Pointing to a potential shift in near-term market structure as a change in supply-demand balance for the AI chip giant, the comment suggests that bearish pressure on NVIDIA shares may be easing, at least in the near term, as fewer investors appear willing to sell at current levels. We'll see how the end of May treats it when it reports earnings. Kramer's comments came as NVIDIA stock rallied 4% on Monday, up to 216.61. The stock was seen 0.99% higher at 218.75 in the after-hour session. The sentiment aligns with recent market enthusiasm and the broad sector rally driven by rising AI demand. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index notched 18 straight sessions of gains, the longest winning streak on record, amid a wave of blowout earnings and analyst upgrades. NVIDIA has surpassed the $5 trillion in market cap amid a broader AI boom. This surge follows a strong earnings report from Intel, ticker INTC, which reported quarterly earnings of 29 cents per share, exceeding analyst expectations and signaling renewed investor confidence in the chip industry. NVIDIA shares are up 30% since the start of the year and are up about 108% over the past year. The AI chip maker could generate more than $400 billion in free cash flow across 26 and 27. This is equivalent to Apple, ticker AAPL, and Microsoft, ticker MSFT combined. In a recent note, Bank of America Securities highlighted that despite NVIDIA's market cap sitting at $5.18 trillion, It's trading at a 50% discount to big tech. Lol. I almost can't even believe that they wrote that, but they did. NVIDIA trades under 20x CY27 earnings and enterprise value to free cash flow, roughly a 50% discount to Mag 7 peers, which average about 41.5 times, and a 66% discount on EV to free cash flow. That is, again, according to the firm. So it's crazy numbers there. The chip giant occupies a noteworthy position in the semiconductor landscape, particularly given its debt to equity ratio of 0.07. In terms of profitability, NVIDIA has outperformed its peers with a return on equity, or ROE, of 31.11%, significantly surpassing the industry average of 25.36%. So NVIDIA, it's been a monster. It's been a monster. It's outperformed. Let me know where you think this goes next. Do you think the bears are gone? Do you think maybe they're just hibernating? Let me know what your thought on NVIDIA is. All right, let's go back to Pro. Let's do one really quick street tweet, and then let's see what 13 has brewing for us today. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he didn't just jump ship after I had tech issues yesterday, and he had to fill in unannounced. That's what a good teammate does. Let's go ahead and do street tweets right now. This one comes from our friend Eric Brock, CEO of Ondas. If you want to follow him, I suggest that you do that on X. It is at CEO Ondas. He says, noted with a fist pump. Now, what this is noting is actually another tweet from Yaden Soffer saying that these are the type of text messages that I get from venture capitalists. Our customers are literally delivering our pitch for us. We are at the very beginning of what will become a massive wave of investment in military subterranean capabilities. Bookmark this post. And then in the post itself, he actually shares one of the tweets that he gets from some of these VCs. So subterranean capabilities. We talked a little bit about underwater drones with some of the other companies. Now it looks like the CEO of Ondas is seeing this and then publicly saying that he's noting that. What does this mean going forward? We're going to have to wait and see. Ondas earnings coming up here on May 15th, by the way. So that should be a lot of fun. All right. Let's get back to live trading here, or actually let's go to our pre-market pulse. We're going to bring on 13. We're going to see what he has for us. And we're going to get you prepared for the open. 13, happy Tuesday.
It's going to be.
There we go. That's the attitude.
Hello, everybody.
It's definitely going to be. I absolutely love that, 13. I'm going to ask you the same question I ask every day, so hopefully I don't get a smart aleck response. What would you like to look at, or should we just go to the movers?
I see you have USAR there without the trend line.
Did my trend line get deleted again? And I think that the one that, you know what? It's actually on a different chart. 13, I think the trend line that we talked about was this one, because it actually looks like it back tested it perfectly.
Yep. It sure did. So waiting for that move up.
Thank you.
Through the recent high that we had there. I think I don't know exactly what that recent high was, where we broke through and came back in, but it looks like 25 or pretty close to there.
25.95 was the actual high print of that candle.
Gotta get through that. But this is so far technically working out pretty well.
All right, good stuff here. USAR just read a story there that they think this is going to go higher over the time, over the long term here. So
that's what the roadmap shows.
Yep, that's I'm with you on that 100%. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Jay.
Yeah, good morning to everyone that is joining us late here. I probably won't get all of the names, but good morning to everyone. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the movers. We'll kind of get them out of the way. EKS, we can also take a look at Corning. I know they reported earnings here today and are actually trading lower. Let's knock these movers out, then we can use the remainder here for ticker time. Do you have any that we should start with, 13, or should I go in order of the gap list here?
So the ones I looked at are NEXR, and SNBR.
Okay, we're gonna start with Bia, just because that's fun and it's making me smile here today. We'll do your list. We'll fill in from any others that might have popped on the list by the time that we're done, and then we'll move on to some of the other stocks like perhaps Corning. So here's Bia. This is the reason we do that, by the way, is because it's ticker BIYA. This is Baiynd International Group. Looks like this did trade up to about 145 before reversing and coming back in here. Stock's up 74.5%. The catalyst for this, Bia, now I can't not say it. I can't not say it. Baiynd, I believe is how it's pronounced, or Baiynd International Group announces that its cryptocurrency ARC Plan digital asset strategy passed the first round of public voting. Binance Coin formally selected as the inaugural core digital asset. Okay, so we're getting a crypto-related headline here on the DAT strategy. That's popping the stock by 75%. We'll see if it's able to hold those gains. As far as the short interest goes here, it's negligible. In fact, we are under 0.3 of the float shorted, so that's not going to play in today's trade at all. On average, stock trades 1 million shares. It's done 11x that already, 11.1 million. Float on this is just shy of 2.5 million. 13, what do you think here on BIYA?
I'm certainly hoping we didn't just see the move we're going to get today. I don't quite think that we are finished here yet, but I did have 145 as my resistance because that lines up, if you go to a daily chart, that lines up really well with where the 50-day SMA is, and it's also at the top of some recent consolidation, and it was also a previous support area back in March. So we are coming off of that level. That was the resistance I had for the moment. Now it looks like we need to get back above VWAP. So that's going to be the current resistance we need to recapture. As far as the company goes, this has 2.42 million shares in the float. I think you said that. It does have revenue. It's unfortunately not profitable, and it does look like it needs cash. The cash read I have on this, very small. Here we go. Yeah, less than a million. So I would think that there's some kind of capital raise coming here with this. I don't think there was any recent capital raise as far as I could tell. So that would be my concern with this, is that they're going to have to get some funds somehow. And that could be as early as today. But for now we're just trying to trade this. We need to recapture that VWAP. And if we don't do it before the open, that's certainly something I'd be watching for after we get into the regular session.
Okay. All right. Really good stuff there. Yeah. Just because it's fun. All right. I think you also mentioned that you had NEXR on your list as well. Okay. We'll do that one next here because it's almost the ticker as it is. This is NextEra Techs. Ticker is NEXR. Looks like on this morning's open, or on the pre-market open here, we had an impulse move up to 550, an immediate 50% retracement, and then a rollover on a crash through VWAP. Now, it does look like it's trying to find some support down here at the 65 EMA, though it never really printed it. Perhaps this will actually curl and give us a trade. The catalyst on this one, NextEra Technologies Keep Zone, authorized to represent Gulf clients on advanced composite structural survivability systems for energy infrastructure. So official authorization to introduce. So this is an advanced fuel tank structural survivability system for the Gulf region, for some of the oil producers down there. Stock is up 41 or just shy of 41% here. A quick peek at the short interest shows that there's some, but not anything that we really need to make a big deal about. 7.7% of the float shorted, only 1 day to cover. Not really crazy in there. Stock on average trades about 215,000 shares, and it's only about $1, so it doesn't trade a whole lot there. However, today it's traded 21.5 million. Float here, the reading I have, 13, under 1 million. So perhaps this is one of our low float movers here. What do you think? NEXR.
Yeah, 653,000 shares is certainly going to make this potentially volatile today. I think I would expect some movement like that, but maybe we get more of that in the regular session. Just like the last one we looked at, company has revenue, it's not profitable, and it needs cash. One of the things, if you go to a daily chart, please, one of the things that I'm watching out for is this consolidation area back from February to middle of March, right about 4. that I think is going to be a resistance area we're going to want to watch for. Now we did, we are getting some support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute for the moment. And if we do turn back up, we have the VWAP to deal with, which is going to be, I have it at 370. So even if we do move past that 370, I still think there could be some, little bit of, supply that we need to see some higher volume for to chew through all that consolidation. So that's kind of where I'd be at with this right now in that 4 area. If we can turn around and come back up to it, I think that's where we're going to see the next resistance.
Okay. All right. Really good stuff there. NEXR. Remind me what the last one was on your list.
SNBR.
SNBR. We're going to do that, and then we'll probably fill this in with ATER. I already talked about Bed Bath & Beyond, but we might as well take a look at the chart there as well. Here is SNBR. This is Sleep Number. They make, I believe, mattresses, if I recall correctly. I don't have one myself. Looks like the stock traded above 320 today, retraced some of that impulse move, and lost VWAP in the process. Sleep Number launches To a Good Life's Sleep, trademarked, its newest fully integrated campaign in the next phase of its brand evolution. It also looks like they announced an amendment to a credit agreement. Yep. Now, 13, did you go through any of these? Because
a little bit. That okay, I think perfect. Is why it's actually moving.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to have you cover that here in a sec. Just really quick, short interest on this name, high. So this is actually 30.87% of the float shorted. That meets our high criteria. The days to cover does not. Remember, on the car short squeeze, we also saw a very, very high days to cover. We don't have that here, so let's not immediately assume that this is related. On average, stock trades just shy of 1.5 million shares. It's done 5.75 million here today. The float is just shy of 20 million. So technically a low float, but not like the really low floats that we look at. All right, 13, tell us about the catalyst here for Sleep Number.
Yeah, so this is an amendment to the credit agreement. They're going to be getting an additional 55 million of liquidity, including 25 million term loan and relief on certain financial and liquidity covenants. So I think that's the big mover, the driver of the stock today, because just like some of the other ones we've been looking at, they're not profitable. They have revenue, but they might need cash. So I think that kind of solves the might need cash problem for now with that additional liquidity. And I didn't, completely go through the entire thing and understand what all the different, covenants that they had that were, being, relieved. They're being relieved from. So I think, it's good if you want to read through it, go for it. But I think this is what it's moving on. I think as far as where we're headed next, it looks like we're kind of under pressure at the moment. And if we are coming back in, I think that we're going to want to keep an eye on what happens around 270. That might, 260 to 270. I think that's probably the range of where we're going to find support. And if we can't get it there, the fear is that we may end up dropping down pretty close to about 240 if we don't find that support. The resistance to the upside, aside from the VWAP that we're kind of trying to get through right now, $3. I think there was also something that I saw on the daily chart here. And then if we do manage to get past $3 and we take out that 325 high, I still think that there's going to be some other resistance coming up around 350. The low from November last year found some support around that area, and that's also currently where the 50-day SMA is around at 382.
Okay. Awesome. Really good breakdown there. Sleep Number. Market Sniper here saying it's an air mattress. Pass on the actual product. Anyone own a purple? I need a new mattress. I've actually heard really good things about those purple mattresses. Never owned one myself. But this is an interesting comment regarding it being just basically a fancy air mattress, and it's a pass on the actual product. What's that?
You watch football, so you've probably seen Dak Prescott talk about.
I was just going to say, do you know the story behind that? You know what they did? They would give these beds out to a lot of those athletes, such that the athletes would then go on TV and marketing campaigns and say, I sleep on a Sleep Number bed.
What's your number?
What's your number? Exactly. Yeah. They tried to drum up that campaign there. So, and I mean, 13, you did a really good job breaking down some of the levels here from the daily chart. While you were doing that, I took a look at the weekly here. This thing, you want to talk about a COVID style, air getting the air let out of it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This thing traded up to 150 and is printing 281 today. And that's after a 27% move in the pre.
Something got their number.
What is it? Negative infinity. Frozen King says purple is great. Again, I've heard the same thing. One of my former coworkers here, Brent, swears by his purple bed, his purple sleep or purple mattress or whatever it's called. I get a nice one from Costco every couple of years. I get a new memory foam mattress. It works out great for me. Just remember to flip it every 6 months or rotate it. You'll be in good shape. Okay, enough of all of that. Next here is going to be ATAR, and this is Arterian. This had an impulse move that took us up to 123. It pulled back 95% and almost completely retraced that move. And now it's right back onto those highs. In fact, literally as we're sitting here, we're watching it retest those pre-market highs. Hello, flip to script. We actually just covered NEXR a couple of minutes ago. I'm sure if you rewind the stream, you can get the levels and the breakdown on that stock. ATER here, again, looking like it's going to take out the pre-market high. We did have a catalyst here today. It announces a definitive agreement to sell its e-commerce brand portfolio for $18 million to Trademark Global. Now, coming into today, the market cap of this entire company was $7 million, so they'd be selling it for more than 2x the market cap of the company. Stock is up 84% on the back of this. Quick peek at the short interest. Negligible, 1.64% of the float shorted. That's nothing. Days to cover here of 3.62. On average, the stock is a complete and total ghost town at 55,000 shares per day. Today, it's just shy of 30 million, and the float, low float, just shy of 10 million. So 13, do you have any thoughts here on ATER? Actually, looks like it found some resistance right there. Intraday double top on the 5.
It's got, like some of these other ones we've been looking at, it's got revenue. It's not yet profitable, and the cash amount that it has doesn't look like it's enough of a runway for them to go forward for very many quarters. So the sale, I think, helps with that. So I don't think there's going to be a need for them to, dilute their shares or any kind of financing with this sale. So that's good. But as far as the chart goes, I was just looking at where this might run to if we're going to see some more upside. And I think I would pretty much lean on I think 180 as a potential area where this could run up to and run into some much heavier resistance. It's at a spot right now, like 120 looks like that's going to provide some trouble, but we've already traded beyond that. If we go up beyond, I'm sorry, hold on a second. Just go back to this. If we trade beyond this high that we just made, 123, I think the next spot to watch for is going to be 150. But somewhere between, I would say, 180 and $2, I think is where we're going to find our resistance. And this is going to be pretty extended when we open here. So there may also be some selling pressure out of the gate.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, maybe a pullback to VWAP. I've currently got VWAP sitting right at 101, right above that round $1 mark. So a pullback to VWAP, maybe it firms up there and finds some support. We'll see how it goes when it trades or when the market opens. There's the pullback. Boy, that happened fast. And look at that. That basically, I know it peaked through the VWAP, but it basically went to the VWAP and held there. No position for me. I'll probably avoid this one, but boy, oh boy, I'm glad that happened while we were still watching it. That was pretty cool. Okay, next here on the list, and 13, if you want to give any chart spots for this, that's great. I kind of already covered this a little bit in the story this morning, but I'm just going to kind of recap it here real fast. What can I keep going? Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't hear you there. My fault. Bed Bath & Beyond, ticker BBBY, stock is up 30% here today. Bed Bath & Beyond shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q1 sales results. Additionally, one of the things that came out of this, CEO Marcus Lemonis said that the first quarter, in the earnings call, said that the first quarter, that the multi-year turnaround strategy is beginning to show measurable progress, and its operating costs dropped to their lowest in 10 years. So a pretty good comment there out of Marcus. They obviously put up a good number. Stock ripped higher here. Looks like 750 was where it was trying to go in the pre-market. Couldn't quite get there. It's kind of parked itself at 7. We have the VWAP down here at 690. Now, short interest on this name, 12.47% of the float shorted with 4.7 days to cover. So elevated, but not technically high by either metric. On average, the stack trades 2 million shares, done 6.7 million here today. And of course, being a bigger company here, the float's much bigger at 72 and change million. 13, we're breaking through the VWAP right now and through 7. You got any thoughts on where this might go?
Yeah, so this price action that we've had this morning, now it's a little bit different in my broker than we have here, but you still have 745 as the high, right?
Sorry, say that again.
You still have 7 as the pre-market. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So in my broker, I have our first impulse move in the after hours yesterday, taking us up to that 745 area here, and that move this morning was the second visit. Now it looks like we're coming up for a third, and I would want to see a breakout beyond 745 with this move up. It maybe even takes us into the open. If we get a rejection there, then I think we may end up seeing this come back in underneath VWAP. That would be my concern. But if we break through it, it's also going to potentially, it's also going to be a move over the 200-day SMA. And I think we could end up running up to just beyond 8, where the 500-day SMA is. And also 8 is a bit of a resistance area on the daily chart. So that's what I'd be looking for here with BBBY. If we can break through that 745 high with volume, I think we run to just beyond 8.
Okay, and it looks like it's setting up for that. So we'll see if we end up getting that. One more thing here to mention, just because we talked to JR earlier, JR Romero from T3 said that his group was trading SkyQ earlier today. He gave his breakdown. If you want to check that out, you can rewind back to the T3 segment here. You can see that this thing spiked on volume, traded up towards 8, reached about 7 3/4, and then backed off. The interesting thing here was when you actually look at a daily chart here, you can see, I really do think that this $8 level right in here, this is going to come into play. If we trade back higher, I think that this is going to be a resistance area. We've seen this stock go crazy before. I know this is one of our big movers here. Quick peek at the short interest, just to remind you, 67% of the float is shorted there. 67%. And this is legit too, because this comes after one of the splits. It looks like there was a big uptick in short interest there. 1 day to cover on this one. On average, stock trade 6.8 million shares, done just about 9 million here today versus a float of 3.5. 13. I know this wasn't on your list, but do you have anything for it?
This is going to be just one of those names that I think you day trade whenever there's volatility in the Strait of Hormuz or any news out of from that direction that puts pressure on oil prices. So I don't know if we're going to see a continued move with this. We might, but it's really going to, I think, in my opinion, be news driven and just how long that news that causes oil prices to rise. I think that's really what the way to trade this one. I don't have a whole lot more I can add to that, but it's a great day trader. Yeah, exactly, Eric. Sky Battalion. There was another one too. I can't think of it right now, but that's exactly my thought. It's one of those names that you kind of just trade with the news. I think there was when I was looking at this, there was concern about cash. Yeah, they don't have a lot of cash at all. They barely have any revenue. They're not profitable. That might be all coming and everything, but for now, I think this is just you trade it with the volatility, you trade it with the news. Turb, that's it. Thank you very much.
Turb, good one. Yep. Good one. Okay. All right. Really good stuff there, folks. We can go to ticker time here. We've got, we're 8 minutes until we open. I did want to start with Corning just because they reported earnings here today. They're down just shy of 10%. This has been a big runner recently. Corning shares are trading lower after the company reported Q1 financial results and issued Q2 sales guidance below the estimates. The big news here is that, yes, we actually broke beneath the 20. And yes, we filled the small gap that actually did create a little bit of an island formation recently. It looks like we're trying to find some support at the 50-day moving average. I have that at 147.25. Are we able to hold that here today? I think that's the question. RSI's come back into kind of no man's land. We did have some pretty good money flow from the Chaikin money flow indicator. 13. I'm gonna go to the washroom here, but can you take a look here at GLW, maybe give some spots on the chart? By the way, before you do that, Lion here is saying GLW is a big puts. I don't know if he means putts or if he says buy puts. We'll let him fill that in. But 13, what do you think here on Corning?
All right, so this has been great for a lot of reasons. I know that Meta and Google have been kind of leaning on this company so they can build out their fiber network to connect their data centers. So they've been getting a lot of revenue from that. But eventually, this is going to have to come back in because it's become pretty extended. I know it's not really extended on the daily chart. But on larger time frames like the monthly chart, we're still over 82 RSI. Now, I don't know what the ultimate level this is going to settle down at, but I think that there's certainly going to be a visit of 120 again. If things continue to go below 120, I'd see some support at 80. Now, I don't know we're going to get all the way down there, but if we cannot hold 120. Which I think is a pretty solid looking area for support. I think that's what might happen next. I just can't say for sure if that's what we're going to end up getting, but 120 certainly looks like a support level to me. Aside from that, and we're talking like a guidance miss of like 31 million. So I really don't know how much the market's going to punish the stock for that, but those are the two levels that I've got. I mean, this thing could continue to do well following some corrective move because we're still not done building out data centers, and we're likely going to continue to use fiber to connect over seafloors and cross straits and all different kinds of things. So I think that this really needed to just come back in, and those two areas would be the ones that I'd be keeping an eye on: 120 and worst case scenario 80.
Okay. Wow. Those are some pretty impressive levels down. Thank you, 13, for breaking that down. Real quick, Lion says buy puts. It's extended. Yeah. Lion says, I see GLW visiting 150 soon. Well, Lion, it's at 151 right now. So
you're not wrong.
That's right here. You're not wrong, but that's not a huge movement there. Jay Rice saying this is an unimpressive report. Jay, I think the only follow-up question I would have for you is, do you think there's more downside following the report, or might we find some support here at the 50-day moving average? Let me know what you think there. Bold call, Lion. It's 151. Lol, Jay. Buffalo by Bicycle says he'd rather sell cash secured puts on GLW. So another option for you right there. Okay. 13, do you have anything?
No, I'm just waiting for this market to open so we can have fun.
Perfect. So we've got 4 minutes here. I did have a couple of stocks that were mentioned earlier. We're going to start with Velo because this one. Mm-hmm. This was down 17.5% yesterday. It's down another 4% here today. Bernhard here is saying that it did a $50 million offering. This was going to be yesterday morning. So it's down here. The offering was at 14 a share. It's down here in the pre-market about 4%. We're beneath that $14 offering. I guess the only reason why I wanted to bring this up, just a reminder of what's going on, but a look here at the daily chart. We recently, I want to say that this is a golden cross, right? The 50 crossing up through the 200. Now the 200 is still sloped down pretty good. So what I'm asking here is, where is the buy spot on Velo if this continues to come in?
Well, I think that I don't know if we're going to come back into where I think the buy spot is, but I think because so if you go to a monthly chart, you'll see what I'm looking at here, and you might have to kind of bring the price in so you can, or bring the chart in so you can see the price action since 2024 a little bit more, because you're not. Yeah, you gotta zoom in. You gotta bring it in some more.
Zoom in.
I don't know. Like expand it higher. Yeah. I don't know why yours looks so much different than mine. It is absolutely remarkable how different that looks.
This is a monthly. It's not a daily. You want the daily?
I'm looking at the monthly.
Oh, okay.
It's remarkably different. So I don't really know if I can, tell you about what I'm looking at here. But we have an inverse head and shoulders on this, and I think the buy spot was under 10 just recently. So I'm not sure that we're going to see that spot again, because that offering was at $14. So I don't, we're just barely beneath that right now. But I still get the sense that this, because of how important this company is to SpaceX, and it may end up being pretty important to U.S. military and maybe other militaries. This is, I think this, we're going to see 20 at some point pretty soon.
Okay. Okay, sorry about the chart there, but a good breakdown there on Velo. Really quickly, and I know we're running out of time here, so I apologize for moving fast. Eric wants to say, can we take a look at GitLab? It's got some Anthropic news here today. GitLab actually looks like it's at a bottom, and it's popping on the intraday chart here. This actually looks like it might try and go higher, and it did come into a fair value gap area, Eric, so interesting. Let's take a look here at the news. GitLab expands integration of its Duo agent platform with Anthropic's Claude models. I think like my knee-jerk reaction to this, Eric, is I'm surprised this isn't up higher here. I'd actually want to read through this PR and see what kind of integration it has. I'm sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head here, but nonetheless, pretty decent news here. Let's take a look at the short interest, 11%, 2 days to cover. What do you think on this chart here on GitLab? Are we at a bottom? Is this maybe a tradable bottom here for GitLab?
Well, I mean, we're just coming off of very all-time lows. So
very all-time lows. I love it.
I mean, it looks like we're trying to reverse this right now. How much do I have? Okay, less than 30 seconds. I would need to see a recapture of 24, and that means we go beyond the 50-day SMA. But I think 24 is the big level we need to get back above. It looks like we're kind of putting in some bottoming, maybe an inverse head and shoulders, but one way or the other, I need to see a recapture and start closing above 24 on the daily chart.
Okay. Good stuff there. Eric, let me know what you think on here. First of all, do you like the news? Second of all, do you have any levels that kind of stick out to you? There we go. We're open. So for all of you waiting for the casino to open, there you go.
All right.
And GitLab higher right out of the gate, by the way.
Okay. ATER. Maybe it's trying to figure out what to do. I think this is the one I said this might come in. So we're just above VWAP right now, and we'll see what we end up getting with that. It's starting to push higher, though. SNBR, here we go, pushing up towards that 325 high on the pre-market. That one's so far pretty good out of the gate. Not getting that push up to 745 with BBBY.
Yeah, this is pulling back to its VWAP at 1.25. We'll see if it holds there.
ATER trying to push to new highs. Now, do you have that wick from 805
on ATER? Let me check here for you. Here is ATER, the wick from 805. Yes.
Yeah. So I think if we just draw a trend line from there to the high just before the open in the pre-market, that kind of gave us a little bit of a soft area we could go to. We just kind of tested that, and now we're pulling back. But if we can hold above VWAP, we could push through this as well.
I'll tell you what, real quick here, real good mention by Eric on GitLab. That thing ripping out of the gate here was not in that. Eric, grats if you had that here, but really nice move here. GitLab,
24, you say? Bet. Here it goes.
There it goes. Right to it. Right to it.
SNBR, fantastic move up to 350. So we did get our move through 3, hit 350. We're pulling back now.
I'll tell you what, fair value gap worked there on GitLab. Thank you. Yes, in it. Let's go, Eric.
And there's the move in BBBY. Man, that was fast.
Right
I have a high print of 770. What did you end up getting?
I only show a high print here of 745. Do you mean it like right now, like in the regular market?
This current 5-minute candle.
Yeah, 770. You're absolutely right. And I don't see that here on the chart. Interesting. That was fast. You're not kidding.
Yeah, I was about to test the pre-market high.
I love it, dude.
ATER still struggling with that 125 area, and this is the one I think I was concerned about coming back in. So we'll see if we end up getting that. BBBY now kind of fading that push through the pre-market highs.
Yeah, I was just going to say BBBY coming back in a little bit. SPY right here at 711. 711 and a half here on the SPY. We're right at the VWAP on the SPY, and we're beneath the VWAP on the ES. I wanted to take a look at that level that JR had mentioned on the ES earlier here. I have that. Where did I mark that? I marked that down. 7161 is that spot. So we're actually above that. We actually back tested that. I wonder if we do that again. All right. Gnostic, $1,400 on Bed Bath & Beyond in 15 seconds. That is how you do a Tuesday.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day. So here we are with SNBR really pulling back now, losing VWAP. BR, I think we just printed slightly higher highs.
Yes, we did.
ATER, this is really coming in now, testing VWAP. There's a risk of this falling under $1.
I'm just going to roll through some of these until I see a decent setup here.
Yeah.
I am seeing a little bit of bounce here in the SPY, although I have not got a buy signal from the indicator. It's too early yet. And the S&P futures does look like it wants to make an attempt to recapture that VWAP. We'll see if it has the strength to do that. Guys saying big pull on ATER. You know, that pulled us just down to the 9 EMA. We're still above VWAP down there at 1.
Yep. Yeah, I was concerned about this one, I think, and we could see it, maybe briefly go under $1. But, if it can't recapture that dollar after it goes underneath there, then the next level I'd be watching for is like 95 cents and then 85 after that. Yeah, on the other hand, continuing to climb higher.
Did I disappear there for you guys?
I wasn't looking, so I don't know. I did see some, stuff happening, but I don't know if you disappeared.
Okay. ATER, here we come. Now it's coming into the VWAP. Does anyone like this at the VWAP? ATER, I feel like there's almost better stuff for us to trade here today. Yeah. That's just my own personal opinion on it, though.
BIA is in halt now?
BIA is halted. Mm-hmm. Do we have a noise for a big halt like that?
You need to get like a really, really loud tire screech of somebody trying to before they hit somebody.
Oh, that's exactly what we need here. We need tires screeching sounds early in the morning for people. That won't drive it. People wild.
No, that's you asked. So.
BIA is behalted. Thank you, JJ. We'll take that. BIA is behalted.
And then also ATER also halted to the downside now at 102.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. I mean, this is what we talked about. Just like we talked about Yas. I mean, remember this? We talked about how being out of these at the end of the day is kind of what you want to do. And even though Yas had like a really nice end of the day explosion, you did not want to hold it because it's down significantly today.
Also, a reminder here in Pro, we released a new update that shows the flag of where that company stock is located. We use that. You can see that right here on the stream. All right, S&P futures still holding in here at 711, but not making a move in either direction. ATER, we talked about that being halted. Bed Bath & Beyond did go above 750 and pull back. This coming back in towards the VWAP down there, 708, 706. What do you guys think here on BBBY? You think we get another pump here?
Let's see.
Lion, you're trading BIA. All right, there we go. And then GLW, Selena mentioning GLW. Let's see what that's doing here. Did that bounce? Yeah, indeed. That's coming back up. That actually moved through the VWAP. Good mention there, Selena.
Yeah, if we can get some support here with VWAP from BBBY, we could turn around and try to push back up through that 745 level.
Okay, so 745 going to be your key spot there, BBBY. Keep me posted on GLW for any of you that are taking trades on that as well. Actually, and you know what, 13 early indications here are that this is holding. Let's see what we get. 720s now.
Yes, Judge, BI is halted.
Yeah, it is. It is. Q Biopharma, what was this? I don't even think. Ooh, yikes. That's halted to the downside. Looks like low volume too.
Cue the shorts.
Cue the shorts. Indeed. S&P futures trying to move higher here now. 712 test coming. Still have not got a buy signal from my indicator on that, unfortunately. Sleep number that popped and dropped. Boys, you're seeing a lot of the pops and drops here, right? BBBY, that's the same deal. We'll see what this does here at the VWAP. Selena says she's buying the dip in GLW. Andrew mentioning NTLA. They had news yesterday, didn't they? Intelia or the day before. Can't remember what day that was. I feel like they've had some recent news here. This is trading higher. Okay, so this dropped in the pre-market yesterday, bouncing back here today. Really, it's this range it's going to need to clear. 1450-ish, maybe? Yeah, 1450. Kathy, there's Kathy. San M looks great on earnings. We covered that one a little bit earlier. Here is San M. Indeed, that looks pretty good.
Looks like that VWAP couldn't hold in BBBY.
So now what's our next level here? 697. That's going to be our 15 EMA.
Oh, wow. Look at that drop.
Oh, man. Big pull down here, 671. So let me ask you guys, when you get a pull like this, is this off the radar for you now? How do you deal with a stock that's pulling back like this? Or do we maybe try this at 671? And I guess I'm focusing on BBBY here because it's not one of like the little movers that we do on a day-to-day basis.
What is that, 32?
Take a look at what? What did you say?
We got what and yeah.
We're gonna have all types of fun here today. It sounds like.
It looks like 35 might be a spot, and if we get a break through that, then I think you're looking at maybe 30, just above 39, maybe 40 as resistance. But man, well done on Watt.
Okay. Nice job there on Watt. Kathy mentioning CLS. That was the earnings from yesterday, right? Yep. And that is bouncing a little bit here.
BBBY went all the way down to its 200 EMA, where it's trying to bounce now.
I have the 200 EMA at 625, another 25 cents here. I'll tell you what, this thing had that initial pop that I don't know if that was people in the pre-market exiting or what was going on there, but that is a nasty, nasty reversal. I think if you're gonna look for any long side trade on this, we're gonna need to see a change in character here pretty soon. I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, BIA is kind of looking like it's getting a little extended here, and it's coming back down to test this trend line. I drew a trend line from the highs using the pre-market.
Okay, I got you. I'll follow that here.
And we're coming down to that trend line right now. So if this trend line provides a bounce, then maybe we go beyond the 182 high.
Okay. We'll see what we get there. Izzy, good to see you here this morning. Izzy mentioning Joby. You know what was interesting about this? You guys talked about the test flight yesterday. Mm-hmm. This was covered on CNBC this morning, and I'll say that everyone on the panel seemed really, really excited about it. And I wasn't sure that we were going to get that kind of reaction from more of like the mainstream, but it absolutely, I was kind of surprised. They were all kind of talking about how quick it was and this and that. Izzy, you think this takes out the after hours high from yesterday?
And like flights are like somewhere between like $150, $250, I think.
That I don't know off the top of my head.
I believe that's what I read, but better to double check.
I killed it, swung it 2 days.
Nice.
Izzy. So you think this does go higher? Okay. Did ATAR get out of its halt? It did. It's trying to hold that $1 there. I'm going to pass on this one. I'm interested to see if BBBY can show any strength here. This is basically holding right at its pre-market lows here. And I would say if it can't hold this, I mean, you guys tell me.
Look at BIA. That back tested the trend line, and now we're heading higher. But it's got a lot of sellers from here up to $2. So there could be some pretty big pressure to go higher right now. We would need some really big volume to get through all this. So I don't know how much higher we're going to get with BIA. unless we see a really big move in volume.
So let me ask you, do you like, if it back tests and holds the trend line, do you like it there for a trade?
I think you may have gotten that a little bit because we did back test it and it did start pushing higher.
Okay.
But as I was just mentioning, when you get to like 180 to $2, there's a lot of sellers in the way, and they're large sellers. So we need to see a bigger volume than what we're getting right now if we're going to push through all that. And I'm just not sure that we're going to get that. So.
Okay, I guess it depends on how you draw your line. I don't have it printing that, but maybe it did 13.
Yeah, BBBY heading lower. This is really giving a lot back. Maybe
I don't even see it on my scanner anymore. That tells me it's really weak.
Maybe $6 is your potential spot now for support, but man, this is just really giving it all back.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, this looks awful. This looks absolutely awful. And on the back of a really good earnings report, I mean, I know it's still up 14% here, but holy smokes! You think this holds 6? Home, what does that say? Honest car review. What do you think here? BBBY. Man, this thing's straight down from that impulse move. Damn. GLW back to 162, so that buy the dip worked. That's why I wanted to ask this early on. Kathy, we'll start handing out register rings for that dip buy there.
Y'all are still holding that trend line. Velo is climbing higher, but we are coming up to some sideways consolidation in the after hours and pre-market. So from about 1425 to maybe 1460, we might see some resistance, but
1460. So you're basically looking at the top of the pre-market range?
Yeah, just that whole consolidation channel that we've been in since the after hours yesterday. That's we got it's going to have to chew through that, and that might take a little time.
Okay. What else we got here? Jay saying BBBY, it's in a long-term downtrend. That happens a lot. Yeah, it looks like that's not done shaking out either. How about San M? That was another bouncer. Looks like 230 stopped it. Take a look at Baiynd. This is right back onto the highs there, 13.
Yep. Trying to push up into those 180s again.
Now, Nikhil is asking, would you think Velo pops with the SpaceX IPO? It is our belief that a lot of the space plays are likely to pop with that IPO, right? That's kind of what we're thinking here.
That's my expectation.
Yeah,
it might, do some kind of lead up into the IPO, but it might pop after the IPO. But I think the SpaceX IPO is going to have a halo effect on a lot of these space names.
Okay.
So Baiynd just printed a slightly higher high, 188 now, and it's backing off. So still seeing that pressure from the cluster of sellers up at that level.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I see a trade here yet on Baiynd, like a new entry. Like, obviously, if you're already in it, that's working there. And you're welcome, Nikhil.
Well, you think it's going to 2, and then we'll probably see the backing off? Just looks like there's a real large amount of sellers starting at pretty much 185, and then it really gets bigger at 190.
A lot of space names all rolled over a bunch of defense companies.
Yeah, I mean they ran for a while, so they're probably cooling off.
Ondas back above 11. That is good to see.
Looks like BBBY is trying to find some footing.
So what do we need to trust it, though? That's kind of, we've been kind of waiting for this to find a support area the whole morning. It hasn't given anything. It's just given a nasty reversal. What do we need to feel good about this?
Down here, I mean, I'm not sure that it's really going to be that great. I mean, you might see a move back up to the 200 EMA, but don't know that we're going to get past it. I mean, it's trying to reverse right now. So
yeah, it does. It does look like it's trying to. My question again, this just has to do with the strength.
It looks like Sleep Number's trying another attempt at VWAP. This thing has been pretty much sideways.
That's SMDR, right?
Yeah, it's been pretty much sideways with that one exception of the impulse move out of the gate that brought it right back beneath VWAP.
Now, if we go through 3 here, do we have a trade? We go through 3 on Sleep Number.
If we go through 3 and we hold above it, then I think we might, because 3 was a resistance area that I was watching this morning. And if look at all the price action we've had movement through 3, no closes above it. So that first close above 3 could be significant.
Okay.
EKS, appreciate the mention. He's bringing out ticker U. That thing's been awesome. Did
we get a secondary move in that?
Well, we did have it go almost to 60. It backed off last week. We're still getting support from the low 50s. Trying to get through this trend line that I drew. That starts from the November high and goes through the December high. And if you extend it, into today's price action, you see how the price has been trying to capture this trend line for the past couple of months. So, I still think that this can go to 60, 65. That's where, I think I'll be taking my gains. But this is a really interesting play, and it's got a lot more applications than just airports.
Do you have a spot at which you're willing to buy this again, or at least entertain the idea of buying this again? If it
no, I don't. I'd have to spend some time thinking about where that is. But the easy answer is no, I don't, because I haven't thought about it.
Gotcha. Okay. I loaded up on you with an average cost of 34. EKS, you know what that means?
Awesome.
Register ring. Ryan, time to hit the road to start the drive to Jackson Hole for the summer. We'll keep you posted while on the road. Bye. All right. Take care. I would love to see pictures. Jackson Hole is gorgeous, by the way.
Have fun with that. Looks like ATER is trying to push back up towards the trend line that we drew. It's back above VWAP now. BBBY still trying to turn around. BIA, it's losing that trend line, coming down towards VWAP.
Yeah, it is.
And Sleep Number is trying to get through its VWAP, but this has been lacking in volume following that impulse move out of the gate.
My first registering. EKS, that can't be true. You make many good trades on here. That can't possibly be the first time that I've rung that register for you. Can't be. Really? Nah, it can't be.
It looks like we're trying to go green here on the SPY, but
yeah, it looks like we're trying, but we kind of stopped there a little bit.
Yeah. UNH is ripping.
Okay, we can take a look at that. Let's do that right now.
Well, certainly up 1.6%. This isn't a buy for me up here, though. I think this is quite extended. I mean, you can certainly trade it, but I don't think I'd be a long-term buyer just yet. I think I could get better prices lower, because we're looking at almost an 83 RSI. Looks like we could get one impulse move, maybe that takes us up to 375, and then we come back in. But I'm not sure I'm quite a buyer just yet. I think I would want to see this come in beneath 350.
Okay, so below 350, possible buy there. CNC had earnings. I noticed that was much higher. That was in a mid 40 handle, right? I think we had Pete from our group trading this in the high 20s, low 30s. This one ended up working here. So wait, you said UNH. So CNC reported here. UNH. When is this?
I think what he means is that it's running with CNC.
Yeah, it's definitely moving in sympathy. This earnings report. So this one already happened, right? So CNC is second. Thank you. That's what I was trying to remind myself of. Okay.
ATER is halted to the upside. It's trying to make a run for that trend line.
So this pulled back, then got halted. So this was halted to the downside, now to the upside.
BBBY lower. BIA trying to hold above that VWAP. SNBR moving through its VWAP.
Oh man, so for this, so let's just examine this again. This is off the table for today, right? This had a huge 30% move, gave back 20% of it, barely holding on to green, looking like this thing looks like out of the open, like it's going to zero. There's no trade on BBBY here, is there?
I mean, we're down at the levels that we were at when we opened yesterday. And we're starting to lose those, and we're coming.
This is crazy.
I mean, hey, if we can't get support from from 560, then I think we go down to the 530s.
Yeah. Okay. So Lion says no. So this one's off the deck there. Okay. All right. We'll look at something else. Was hoping for maybe a bounce and maybe even back into that 7, but I think at this point that looks ugly. Yeah, I would agree with that. Bia here holding right at the trend line.
Yep. And above VWAP.
Gnostic here saying, Ryan, you guys are the best. Thanks so much for your help and insights. Hey, I'm glad we're helping.
You got it.
Glad we're helping. Thank you for hanging out with us and then showing us some support as well.
It's nice to see USAR come in a little bit, provide some more opportunities, but we don't want to see this go beneath the trend line. We want to see this kind of move up back to towards 25.
And that's USAR, correct?
Actually 26. 26 we need to clear. Yeah. ABT trying to retest high of day.
That's Abbott.
Yep.
Boy, that thing, I remember we were talking about this at 120. This thing really fell. There were a lot of folks that really liked this too. This thing rolled over, lost 100, retested 105 as resistance to the upside. Oh, man.
Look at that monthly chart. This looks like we might have lower to go.
Ooh. So what are we thinking then?
I like the 200-month SMA. If we don't get it there, then 60. I mean, I don't know that we're going to even go that low, to be honest. I think Abbott is a really well-run company, but that is some nasty price action there.
Yeah, that sure is. This looks like it's at a pretty critical level at the moment right now.
It absolutely does. And if we lose 90, then I would say that that $80 to the 200 month SMA is probably going to be in play at some point. Yeah, exactly, enforcement, because that double top, it's very concerning. Where have we seen a double top like this, and what happened with it? Remember the big name? Microsoft.
Yep. And that thing really came in.
Yes, it did. So, I think I would be keeping an eye on what happens at that $90 level, because I think that support needs to hold if we're going to turn around. If it doesn't, then we're facing the $80 level and maybe even the 200-month SMA.
Guys, are we really only at 19 likes?
SNBR just blasted off into a halt.
Putting it on screen here. Okay, there it is, halted to the upside.
Wow. And ATER unhalted, and it went up to the trend line, traded just past it, and now it's being rejected and getting shot down to the VWAP again. Wow, what a move in sleep number there.
Wasn't on that one. Halted plus 67.5%. Ondas, indeed, a nice day. Looking like it's flirting with 11.
We want to see a recapture of 12.
ATER.
Right. Yeah,
that went higher and then held lower there, or moved. Sorry, went higher, then went lower.
Yeah, getting a rejection from that trend line still, but it's not giving up quite yet. I want to see what we get with SNBR out of this halt, if this move gets sold or not.
And so I was going to say, anyone see anything good to trade here? Like new entries? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with SNBR. Are you in that?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, because I was going to say, if I were in this in the halt, I'd be looking to lighten some, at least some, out of the halt. But we'll see if that volume continues to expand. All right, Lion here saying BIA is bouncing from 156. That's BIYA, by the way. And actually, so it does look like it bounced off the VWAP. It did recapture the trend line.
Mm-hmm.
Cam saying, Ryan, it's unrelated, but do you have Claude Pro? No, my Claude account is still on the free level. Same with my Perplexity account. The only one that I pay for is Grok, and that's because it comes with X Pro, which is the only way to use X, in my opinion.
ATER is still holding the VWAP, but looking a little weak. And
which one?
ATER.
ATER, got it.
Yeah, and then BIA is still trying to push up towards those those 180 levels again. Still have some sellers in the way, so we need to see some pretty good volume if we're going to push up to 2.
Lion says it's going. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I think we need to see better volume. And it could happen just all of a sudden, where just some big volume just drives right past all that, and then we see the sellers step in. But it doesn't look like that's happening just yet.
These are just super thin. I'm just going through some of these other halts here. These look like these are just super thin, trading on super low volume there.
BPPY new lows.
Yeah, Brian here saying SPY and Qs literally do nothing but go sideways until a headline pushes it. I'll tell you what, that's another reason. First of all, I have no signals today on the 0 DTE indicator for buys. Didn't feel great about any of it. So glad we avoided that here today.
Yeah, it's it's still a very news-driven market, and
no question, yeah.
Unless we get something like that, it's probably going to be another major headline, like a big economic piece of news, or the FOMC meeting results, or big, mega cap earnings. Those are really the only things that, for the moment, I can really see getting this market going.
BIA looked like it was going to try and push through the highs there, pulling back a little bit now. Yep. Bavesh asking about SanDisk. SanDisk, remember, that reports earnings on Thursday. So however, whatever you're going to do for a trade, make sure you have that planned in here. Saying SanDisk is building some bullish momentum in a red day. SanDisk down by 4%. It did do an all right job holding this. What is this? 1,025. Did do an all right job holding that. Price is above the VWAP and the 9 EMA. It's actually flirting with both of those levels right now. It's actually beneath the 9 EMA, but still above the VWAP.
SNBR open ticked a little bit higher, just shy of 375, and now it is coming in. Maybe it finds some support around 350. If not there, 325. It's funny how the wicks that we got from where we were printing highs are 25 cents away. All right, now it's still going higher after getting support at just above 350.
Chris is looking for a reversal on Boeing on the 15-minute. Here's what Boeing looks like. Here's what your 15-minute looks like. Chris, are you waiting for a reversal candle, like a hammer or something? What specifically are you waiting for on that 15-minute chart? Ondas pulled back a little bit.
So we get up to 405 in SNBR, and that pulls. Doesn't seem like it's done at the moment, but we might be getting a bit of a reversal here. We'll see. I don't want to say that that's certainly what's happening here, but we are seeing some resistance at the $4 level. BR, not able to get much higher than that 188 high. Coming back towards the VWAP. I'm sorry, the trend line.
I was going to say, it looks like that's exactly right. It looks like we're going to get a back test of that trend line here. Market also looks like after that initial attempt to try and go higher through the VWAP might actually roll over. Interestingly enough, the futures on that 15-minute chart basically went straight to the VWAP and stopped there. How's our bounce in Corning going? Okay, so that stopped at 160. That was actually a good call.
Gold hitting low day. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond continues to print lower. It's almost given everything completely back.
That's amazing. This stock was up. I think this was up like 40% at the highs. Let's check. Not quite. 37% at the highs, and now possibly. And this thing gave it all back.
Yeah, it's
oh my God!
Literally, the low is literally 20 cents from the low just before the impulse move.
Wow.
Now we are
not a good day there for Marcus Lemonis's BBBY. Now they did say that the turnaround is going well. So market here, I guess, at least in the immediate reaction here, telling you it's not necessarily believing that. This might be one to check a couple of weeks down the road.
This turnaround isn't going well.
I was going to say this one isn't turning around, but the company turning around, we'll see.
SNBR climbing back up to 4, trying to go higher, and it is.
And through 4, that was a nice move. Anyone that's on SNBR, bang.
Yep. Maybe we see another. We see it go up to 425 and then back off because it seems to like 25-cent impulse moves here. You got the highs from the pre-market and the open, 25 cents from each other. This high from the open to where we were just looking at 4 was 50 cents. A multiple of 25. We're climbing still, trying to get through 425 now.
Well, this was the trade of the day here. I think that at least early on, this was the trade of the day. Doc, BIA 121 out 171. Hey, 50-cent scalp in the first 30 minutes of the day. Not bad, buddy. Not bad at all. And here goes BIA.
There it goes.
There it goes. And right to 2, right to Lions 2. That's another register ring.
Oh, and we needed that's what we needed to see.
I don't think you got out of it there at 2. There wasn't a whole lot that printed at 2, but that was a nice little impulse move.
Held the trend line, pushed higher. Let's see if Bed Bath & Beyond can turn around here after going down to 550.
What's going to turn it around is the question.
Seller exhaustion. I don't know.
Christoph saying shorting BBBY was the trade of the day. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm always, you know what, Christoph, you're right about that because I'm always looking for the trade of the day to be a long side trade. But in today, you might actually be right. I mean, that was almost 40% in a half hour.
Now you got a big seller at 2 and BIA.
Yeah, and like I said, it went right there. That's why I don't think Lion got filled there, unless that was Lion's sell order.
SNBR breaking 4. It's coming back in actually. Not really able to. This is the first red candle in the past. I'd say 25, almost 30 minutes. And look at wow, what's this? Stable X?
Yeah, that was SBLX. I can go back to that if you want.
I said a lot of big wicks there. All right. Well, it's not seeing a lot of movement at the moment. SNBR trying to figure out if it's going to go higher or not. You have BIA hitting 2, and then it's kind of just hanging out here in the 180s. Waiting for the next move in these names.
Can roll through them. Looks like we're taking a little bit of a lull there. Now, what's interesting here, SPY is trying to go, but I don't know if it's going to get through that VWAP there on the futures. SPY looks all right here. It actually looks like it's trying to hold 710.
Here's more volume in BR now.
Right back up to 2.
Yep. So the component we needed, that volume expansion, is what was going to take us up here. We're getting that, and we're hitting 2 again. We're trying to push through it. Looks like we are. There it goes.
204 was your high print. Actually, I had 209 as your high print there. I beg your pardon.
Next big cluster of sellers is going to be up at 225. And you might actually be getting a little bit of a turnaround here in BBB1. We'll see if that ends up happening. We have a minute 10 left in this candle.
We'll see if BIA can go through $2 there.
Robot to trade. I think Nokia has a pretty interesting long-term prospect to go higher, because you've got not only them partnering with NVIDIA and other major companies to develop 6G, but one of the other things is that I believe that the European Union has shifted away from Huawei and wants to start using Ericsson and Nokia for their communications infrastructure. So I think you're going to end up seeing Nokia do well over time. Right now, it's on the monthly, and let me look at some smaller time frames like the daily. It's getting to be where it's pretty extended, and I don't know how much more upside you're going to get out of this with how extended it is right now. It's coming up to some resistance. Between 11 and 12, I think we may see some potential topping out here. So that would be my current take right now. I think that longer term, this goes higher, but being that in this short amount of time that we've been having this upside move this year, it's a little extended, and I think we would need to cool off before we make that next move higher.
Okay. Sleep numbers, that might be coming back in a little bit there. BI might be coming back in a little bit. Looks like 2 is still resistance for that stock.
Oh, they are also working with NVIDIA on photonics. Well, there's another layer. There's another layer. All right, let's look at some of these movers again. So we are underneath 2 in BIA now. Sleep number coming back in a little bit. We still have VWAP at 344. ATER, this is off the trend line, but it's trying to hold above VWAP. We may get another move that tries to test the trend line again, but I just don't know if we're going to blast through it. Looks like we do have a bit of a reversal doji here on BBBY. It could also indicate continuation, but we have this I think we'll call this a long leg doji, or it maybe even can consider it a bit of a reversal candle here, but volume isn't great, so I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I will say, so just kind of looking at the volume, it continued to compress as that selling volume, just the stock price just dumped.
Yeah.
We got this one candle here that looked like it might start to expand. That was the last time that you said maybe this thing's trying to bottom. Yeah. I don't know if it's totally figured it out yet.
The volume is kind of telling you that I don't think I like this with the way the volume is.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I was asking earlier.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to turn around. I mean, look, if you see how we've stopped the the straight down move, and we're kind of going sideways for the past 10, 15 minutes. That looks like an attempt to bottom. Could we go lower? Sure, but this lack of volume is really what doesn't make this interesting to me. I think there's better trades out there.
This is one of the things that I deal with. It's not specific to BBBY, but this is one of the things that I deal with on some of these stocks, especially ones that are up as much as this was in the pre-market. When you see this action right here out of the gate that is just so bearish, it gets hard for me to then trust it again at some point, even if it comes into a specific level. I just don't feel good about this. And thankfully, because this thing has continued to just march lower here, even off of this 550, it actually looks like this might break.
Have we covered Netlist at all? I just found it. It seems interesting as a longer-term buy and watch. Got to do my research, but I figured I'd ask if I know anything. So I haven't done anything on this. This is OTC.
Yeah.
You do have go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't recall this one at all. NLST, the ticker sounds somewhat familiar, but I can't remember us discussing this for any type of thesis or anything. Sorry, my man.
Designs and manufactures modular memory subsystems and also cloud service providers.
I mean, it sounds like the right industry.
Yeah. Floats a little large, 306 million. What does the financials look like here? So it doesn't look like it's profitable, but it does have revenue. Has some cash. It's got quite a bit of cash relative to how much it burns through. So I don't think there's a real risk of them needing to raise capital. Balance sheet doesn't look great. So they could improve that. Let me just go back to the chart here.
EDSA, is this halted? No, this resumed.
This looks like it may come back in a little bit more. Maybe you see some support down around 180 or 195. It is getting support from 2 currently. But yeah, I don't know enough about this. So just looking at the chart, I would think that this risk off that we're getting with this, I think that we could end up seeing it go slightly under 2 and find some support and then maybe go higher. But that's just, from this chart read. I don't know enough about this company, and I don't have enough of an opinion on it. But that's what I would be looking at for the time being. Monthly chart looks kind of interesting. We just recaptured the 200 and the 50 month SMAs, so that's a good sign. Let's see if we can hold above those.
Lion here saying Bia is giving us another run and then saying let's go. It looks like it just pulled back from 2 here. I also see this big seller walking it down.
Yeah, but once he's walking it down into a large buyer.
Where's that large buyer sitting at again?
185.
185. Okay. Well, we're going to get that battle here in a sec. 13.
Yep. It was a firefight.
Ed says, I got stuck with a bag in BBBY 695. Are you still in it? Did you get rid of it? What's the next move? Here's your 185 test on BIA on that back test. Seller walked right into it, and now 185 is a seller. That seller is still walking the stock down.
But we're still above VWAP.
And we're still above the trend line.
So we could just, see this continue to come back in towards, let's say, 170, just above the VWAP. And then looks like SNBR is trying to turn around.
Bath and bags.
Yeah.
Joe, oh man, you're a net add to this. That is for sure. In all ways, buddy.
SNBR trying to push back up here. It's dealing with a seller at 380.
Lion sold partial, and Bia is bouncing back towards 2. Yeah, I thought 6 would hold too, Eric. When it was down there at 610, I was kind of thinking, this might hold. Maybe this will give us a reversal candle. Nope. Just melted that and went right through it.
And ATER still, pretty much sideways now for the majority of the morning. BIA, we're waiting for that 2 break. There's a big seller in the way, and then if it if the volume can carry us past that guy, the next one's up at 210.
Okay. I still see what looks like, at least on the level 2 here, a seller walking it down.
SNBR couldn't climb higher. It's losing VWAP now.
I still don't see anything great for a new entry. By the way, Bitcoin has been lower and lower here today, so our risk on indicator not great. VIX, however, in a mid 18 handle.
ATER, we're almost at that trend line. There's a seller on the way at 125.
Now, BIA, this not breaking down, BIYA, not breaking down. I kind of thought that if we got rejected at this 200 again, or at this 200, excuse me, at this $2 level again, that we might kind of roll over. It's not doing that yet, though. Now, to your point, though, still above the trend line, still above VWAP, still above the 9 EMA. So maybe it needs those to kick lower here. S&P futures could not get through the VWAP on that second test. And I'll tell you what, the buy signal that my indicator tossed earlier looks like it worked, but you had to be quick. Not a great trade on that.
ATER popped through the trend line and printed 133, but immediately was rejected. And Sleep Number still trying to deal with VWAP. BIA, waiting for the next BIA move. And, you know, with the broader market still trading less than 9 million shares in this regular session,
I know,
it's shaping up to be another low volume day unless it's
sure
some kind
is.
of news headline.
And I mean, that's always a possibility. Let's be honest here. That's always possible.
But lately the volume's been exceptionally low.
Yeah, it has.
Felt like half day volume. Now here's one that just alerted me to a halt. I think this was one from yesterday. HTCO.
Yeah, that was one from yesterday. Yep.
This is in a downside halt. One more reason why you don't want to be holding these day trades unless you have some other longer term prospect here.
Definitely.
All right. Looks
Lion
like
says he's out of BIA. So Lion, you're kicking the can on that one. Looks like it just does not have the strength to rebust through 2.
But as you said, a win is a win.
Yeah, win is a win. Looking gains on it. I didn't make any day trades here today.
Looks like SNBR trying to get a lift off of the VWAP. If this thing gets some volume, man, I get the sense that we might see 4 again if we get some really good volume expansion here.
This actually looks like not a bad hold at this area.
It doesn't. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if we can get some, you know, if the volume expands here and starts taking out some of these sellers, we may end up getting a move back up to 4. But we're getting pretty close to 1030 as well.
Okay.
And with the way that the market's been going this morning, you know, I don't want to. I'm counting my blessings.
You know, this is a good comment here. Christoph saying the month of May is always slow. There's lots of public holidays all month in Europe. I know we've got Memorial Day in the States. What else am I forgetting in May?
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, but the market's not closed for that.
I know. I'm just. Don't we have NVIDIA earnings next month?
No, NVIDIA earnings are at the end of this month.
The end of this month. Okay.
Yeah, end of May.
Oh, well, then that's right. Okay, so yeah, they are next month then. And this month is April.
Oh, yeah, so it's the end of next month. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it's the 27th. It looks like it's unconfirmed. So there's the other. And you know, I think, let me look at a calendar. So we get those earnings. That's a Wednesday, and then we go into the and we have Thursday and Friday, and then the Memorial Day weekend. Right? Is that when is Memorial Day this weekend or this year?
That I would have to look up. The earnings.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the 25th of May. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say. So the earnings for NVIDIA are on the 27th. So Memorial Day is the 25th, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just looked that up? Yeah. SNBR trying to bounce off of its VWAP. Mark mentioning Poet. Here's Poet.
May the 4th be Palantir. Okay. Microsoft tomorrow, yeah. Sleep number climbing higher. Baiynd tried to push back up. It did actually print 2 again. Came back in.
Here's your sleep number. So what's the trigger here? This thing needs to go through 4 to really kind of get on another run. Lion, are you still trading sleep number here, SNBR? And Baiynd was restricted, by the way, so I don't know how many people ended up trading that. Well, sleep number still climbing. Well, what do we think? Does this thing have to push through 4 to really get rolling? Yes. Okay, that's Lion's looking at yes there.
Well, now I want to see it move through 425.
Okay, so you actually have an even higher target there.
Yeah. If it goes over 4, that's great. But with the highs are 424, I want to see us actually capture that.
Okay. See if we get that on sleep number.
Baiynd pushing up through 2 might go to 210. Get a little bit more volume expansion. That's what looks like it could happen, but the sellers keep stepping in and trying to push us down.
Zach saying Ondas hitting walls at 11. You know, Zach, we saw that yesterday with Ondas too. I think eventually when we pound on that enough, we're going to go through it. Don't forget May 15th earnings for Ondas. Sleep number pulling back a little bit. Still looks like that 375 level kind of key there. And then don't forget, we got Anne-Marie here today. So let me know if there are any, or let us know if there are any possible trades that you'd like us to go over. We do have a lot of earnings here this week, so we might be able to ask her about earnings trades. We shall see.
Yeah, on the doorstep of 210.
And new highs there, 215.
Oh. Looks like SNBR are still trying to push higher here.
Now, SNBR, so this, I had this last bounce here at VWAP at 345 in a fair value gap, pretty much went to 375. Now, actually went a couple of cents higher than that. Still think 425 is what we're going to need here on SNBR. See if we end up getting that. More strength than Bed Bath & Beyond, that's for sure. How did that finish up, by the way? Why?
Still kind of sideways down here.
Judge, it's been great. Thank you for your support. I hope Reggie was wrong and we didn't actually have 19 likes on the stream. Now that we're getting ready to go over to Anne-Marie, smash up the like for her.
Take care, Judge.
Let me check and make sure that we're not at 17 likes. That would be kind of an insult. 129. Okay, so we're at least higher than the 17 that Reggie quoted earlier. That's good to see.
Yeah.
So it actually looks like a number of things are slowing down here. The market, the S&P futures traded up to that VWAP, got rejected. Actually looks like it's going to try and roll lower here. Some of the other stocks that pop, like Tesla, that's coming back in. The VIX is at 1850. Well, I don't have a whole lot of good targets here.
ATER trying to push through that trend line again. Still no candles closing above 125.
SNBR through that 375 that we just talked about. Let's see if this can go to 4.
slow melt up with some of these, it looks like.
Oil price is still holding $100. That's slash CL, the futures. And I don't have a whole lot of setups here, 13. I really don't.
No. You know, it's fine. We're starting to see we're almost at 10:30.
Yeah, we are. It just looks like, I know we shared the stat earlier about Tuesday being the most profitable day. Does not feel like this Tuesday cooperated with us, to be quite honest with you. Rooster, take care of yourself. Thanks for all your support every single day.
We got some pretty good movement out of the gate here with the movers.
Yeah, the sleep number trade wasn't bad.
Yeah, Beyond Sleep Number were the two really good ones. And if you shorted it, maybe BY.
Yeah. Yeah, if you played the short side of that, if you played the long side on that, that's not a good day. That's one you forget. that is definitely a day that you forget. And then here, I think I've got the calendar for us. This is this week, right? Yeah. So here we go for earnings. So tonight, Starbucks, Hood, Visa, Mondelez, and Booking, probably your big ones. NXPI, also honorable mention, I guess, as well as T-Mobile. But it really kicks off tomorrow. AbbVie in the morning, Regeneron, General Dynamics in the morning there. And that's just the warm-up for the afternoon. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, Qualcomm, Ford, KLAC. That's going to be your big day. On Thursday, we got Big Mama, Stryker, and SanDisk.
I'm going to be interested to see what a lot of these companies that have significant exposure to China are going to say with regard to the Manus block. That I think is something that's going to be in focus on a lot of companies that have exposure to China.
So companies that are exposed to China that may have dealings with them, maybe that changes. This one got canceled in the 11th hour, it sounds like. So money had already been exchanged. So
it wasn't the 11th hour. This deal was already
happened. Okay, yeah.
Now they have to, proceeds went to 10 cent and money was exchanged. People, I mean, this is a bit of a mess. And the thing that's kind of scary is they only have weeks to undo all this. And Beijing has said that if Meta doesn't, comply with this unwind, that there could potentially be risks for other things, like how those Meta glasses.
Yeah.
Big manufacturing in China for those. So you could start to see, and there's another aspect for Meta that has some significant China exposure, but those are the risks. So
Okay.
I'm wanting to see what these companies that have exposure to China are going to start saying.
And use your conference call transcript feature in Pro plus your AI tool to find those insights. All right, 13, any closing words for the group before we move over to Anne-Marie?
Fun little day with and Sleep Number. And you know what? There's more fun to be had. So stay tuned for Anne-Marie. And I will be back here tomorrow. We'll have some more fun. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Goodbye.
All right, 13, take care of yourself. Good stuff. As always, 13's departure leaves room for the one and only Anne-Marie. Let's bring her on and see how she's doing. Anne-Marie, happy Tuesday. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you too. I don't know if it's my voice that's going to be choppy or yours, but everything got really choppy a little bit ago. So,
you should have been here yesterday. I couldn't even get back on. So I'm going to immediately take blame for this. You sound great right now. 13 sounded great on the sign off. I don't see anything wrong. Let me bring your charts up and see if that works. That's the stream, but it looks like we're doing all right here.
All right. So the charts work?
Well, I'm looking at the stream. So we had the same problem we did last Friday where I'm not seeing your platform.
All right, let's try that again. Oh, duh. All right. Let's stop that. Stop. And then I don't know how to do this. What did we do last time? Do you even remember? Window. Share window. And then I open up the other one, and is window supposed to show there? It's not doing it for me. So let me minimize this. Oh my word. All right, so no. Let me take this down and move it over to the corner and see if we've got ourselves another problem we can fix. All right, so stop.
Okay.
Share. Yes. Okay, now you should see the screen. Is that right?
Bingo. We're all good to go.
Ta-da! All right. So, yes, we have a ton of earnings. I think it's super important for us to take a look at the cues first to see. Okay, so two things. Goldman Sachs sent a note to its clients that said, hey, listen, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a fade. And the last time they said something was here at the beginning of April when they said, hey, we're going to have a little bit of a bounce. So maybe they're trying to be the good guys now that Jane Street has taken over as the bad guys.
Okay.
So, boy, I should not have even said Jane Street. There's nothing that makes me hot under the collar like Jane Street right now.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, anyways, we have the Goldman Sachs saying, hey, listen, the CTAs needed to reverse. They've moved all the way up. They've rotated. They're wound all the way to the top. Now we're going to see a reversion trade. So is that reversion going to come in steep or shallow? The next thing is forensic data analysis, or seasonality, as we sometimes call it, clearly says tech has a problem during midterm elections. I think this is a buy the rumor, sell the news. And so could it be that some of these things wind up? Yes. We've got all the hyperscalers coming in. The big problem is, well, wait a second, if we've got all of this spend, where's it coming from besides employee reduction? And then if we have all the employee reduction, who's going to buy our stuff? And so that's an important thing. So I would be very cautious. I mean, very cautious buying outright where we see all things good. So one of the big ones, let's look at Microsoft. That one's been taken to the woodshed. So if, for happenstance, they do come in bullish, they are very likely to head back into the top of this candle, which is the difference. Let's do a Fibonacci on that one. This would probably be the only one that I would consider, and I would look either a very quick strike in and out or far down the road and let the leap be good to you on the far end. So that's my thought. Now, notice if we look at the daily chart over here, this candle formation on our week takes us into the middle of the gap. And what are we doing? We're coming right back into the tip of the earnings event. So if Microsoft, when is their 29th? That's tomorrow after the
Microsoft.
close.
Yep.
And so you could look at something that says I don't know. Let's see, 440 to 450. Let's do what? 7. Okay. 7. Let's do Microsoft, and let's say you are these have just done tremendously well. I don't know if we talked about these at all, but these verticals all the way into December, you can unwind them now because time is going to be your friend. And so that's exactly what we've got going on here. These still look really great. All of these butterflies, and that actually, holy smokes, I'm going to lose power. Hang on.
So
my my machine just said, "Be careful." Okay, so that looks really great. If you're thinking to yourself, let me just take May. You can take the monthly expiry, and you can do. Oh, look at where all the volume is, right? 445 open interest, 445 all the way to 475. I don't think 475 is where this one's going to get at this time. But if you said, hey, how about 440 to 450? You might go, Emery, $3. Come on. Then do a condor. Go, if you did 440 to 450, do a condor and then just sell the 455 to 460. It's $2. You've got $3,000. No, you've got $1,000 to the upside, $500 to the downside. You still get 2 to 1. If it goes all the way to 460, I don't think it will.
Okay.
I think you're going to have a good shot at this just jamming up and then get out. Get out, because they are going to sell the market down. And here's the funny thing. For all of us, we have been thought, hey, we got to buy the dip. We got to buy the dip. We got to buy the dip. All the dips are getting bought and we're moving all the way up. But seasonality and forensic metrics say you better pump the brakes right now, because if you don't, these CTAs are going to catch you on the back foot, because they are moving in cycles that are 2 to 4 weeks wide, sometimes 5 weeks, but that's what we're seeing right now. And the CTAs are really running that volume show. Right now, we have depressed volume overall, and that's because the traders are trying to figure out what to do with this market. And when that volume gets very damp, very soft, all the way up into these resistance zones, and we can't get higher, we have ourselves a collapse. And that's what happened last night. We came in, our Globex open shot up, brand new high, and then completely started fading, and then we lost our MOC candle. That is the market on close candle, the last 30 minutes of the day, for those of us that don't know that. So that's what I like there. You want to take a look at Starbucks?
sure, that's an earnings for tonight.
Okay, so we've got a weekly look at Starbucks earnings, and take a look at this. Boy, if this doesn't scream Iron Condor, I'm not sure what does, but have a look. Earnings candle, break out of an earnings candle down, earnings candle inside of all the other rotations, up, down, down, sideways. Last one was up. Now, what do we think actually is happening with the majority of what's going on with Starbucks? They are trimming the drinks. They are doing a lot of cost cutting in terms of saying, listen, how can we do more with less? We don't need as many materials. So they are really trying to refine their business flow. But at the end of the day, how many times are you going to go buy a $6 cup of coffee if you're trying to save up for a house or a car or anything like that? I'm really not sure what their forward projections are going to look like. I'm going to guess they're messy. And so the ideal play on high vol is going to be an Iron Condor. And I would say 75 to 105. Oh, look, already got one here. So let's take a look at how long we want this one to go for. All right, 181. Let's say that we want to go to June. Or let's where's our vol? Yeah, let's look at May. Let's look at May. See what we have. They have everybody at 100. I thought it was 105. If we did 100 to 105, let's see where they are on the put side. 90. Interesting. Mine is 75. So if we follow the money, it gives us almost half the size of the spread. So what could be the problem? Where could this go wrong? 100, 105, 90, 85. Let's go back. That's the most important thing that you can do as a trader. Sit down and go, wait a second. Where could this go wrong? Well, number one, it roars past the last earnings event. I don't think that's going to happen. But it roars past the last earning event and it stays there. So how do you want to trade when you've got your spread so tight? This is a pretty tight spread. Here's what would happen. First thing you're going to get is vol crush. Okay, you're going to get a little bit of vol crush. So you're going to get some theta decay and some gamma decay and some vega decay. It'll pull in a little unless it rockets up. But what has happened to this chart every time it's moved to the edges in the last shocks since the beginning of the year? Every time it's moved up, it's come back to center. Every time it's moved down, it's come back to center. Even the small moves down come back to center. Small moves up come back to center. This is an ideal space for an iron condor. Ideal.
Okay.
We want to look at booking.
Well, actually,
Yes.
can we do meta? Because I think what?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. I thought you were recoiling in disgust there. 13 here mentioning there's a concerning chart and news on Meta. So it looks like you're looking to play that to the downside there.
I am. Now, this I was listening to you guys, and I heard what 13 was saying, and even if that wasn't the case, Meta's due for a pullback. So why do we think they are? Well, their latest spend. Who did they give OpenAI a bunch of money to?
Yeah, I was actually just trying to grab that here. I don't have that handy.
No worries. They gave some guys a bunch of money. So there's that. Zuckerberg wants to win this AI game, and so he's gonna put as much money with each partners and just see who comes out in the wash, right? But as mentioned, tech, which we'll call this tech, has a tendency to fade during the summer. What are we seeing? We are seeing lower highs since 2025. Is that what that is? I can't see the bottom. No, that is October of 2025. Right? Downward flow. Also, lower lows. So we have lower highs and lower lows, top of the range. It's going to fade. So why else would I think that? Well, let's look at the earnings. Sideways earnings, couple of dojis. Sideways earnings, couple of dojis. Earnings, reboot back into the old earnings. And what have they done that's new? What have they done that's revolutionary, that's going to change their landscape, even for the next year?
Broke ground on a new data center, spent $1 billion doing it.
There you go. And that's just drain. And so they could come out and go, hey, we're letting another 5,000 people go. And that might lift because of overhead. But the more stuff we see that AI is doing on its own, the more we have to go, a little oversight might be necessary. And so what we end up having are different kinds of jobs. I think, the next big job is going to be prompt engineer. It's someone who can really understand how to speak, to chat inside of a complex subject matter event. So that being said, I think it's going down. So where's it likely to go? I'm going to pick this last earnings event. This one here at around 600. So how do we trade that? Let's say, Anne-Marie, you're full of crap. This thing's going up. Awesome. Let's figure out both sides. See if we're right, see if we're wrong. Here's the thing, folks. Whatever happens, it's going to happen fast and it's going to be reflexive. Why? Because that's the landscape that we're living in. Fast flows, reflexive flows, down and up. Take a look at this garbage dump. Hey, I bought right here. I'm going to lose my house. Oh, well, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. That's how it's looking, especially if you're leveraged. So don't leverage. Leverage is real. Leverage can rip you to shreds. My favorite Stan Druckenmiller story, I've probably told it 100 times. He went short, dot-com bubble. He went short in I don't know, October of some other year, and said he was going short. He bet 200 million, and 3 months later he had to buy everything back for 600 million, or he would have put him out of business. So don't lever yourself up. Don't lever yourself up. Let's take a look at this. So what do we have? Let's go hardcore right into this edge. And let's go to the 600. Scrolling. Let's see where look at that. 15,000 in open interest, friends. So if we have that as our ledge, let's buy ourselves, let's buy a condor. Let's do that. And let's make it $20 wide. See how expensive that is. Whoa, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. Let's do, where are they putting their money? What? These people are crazy. 800. No. Here is 720 to, oh, Anne. Silly woman. 720, 740. Okay, so $6.80. That's pretty expensive. It's vol, but it gives you both sides. If you're like me and you go, I think these guys are going to fade. I think they'll fade pretty soon, but I have no idea how fast. I'm going to do the 600, 680, 660 butterfly. It's going to be $111 for $2,000 of upside. You could say, well, what if it falls off a cliff? You can go 600 to 680, but then you buy back the 670, and it's a little bit more, but if it, heads down the river without a paddle, you're still going to make the $1,000 on the upside, right? Because it's $2,000 on the upside, $1,000 on the downside for $181. Yeah. So that I'm pretty fond of that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff there with Meta. Real quick, 13 saying Meta relies heavily on Chinese advertising services. If they cannot undo the Manus acquisition, which China just blocked after money was exchanged, they risk losing that major driver of revenue. It's just another possible negative catalyst there for Meta.
So on the flip side, what might make this turnaround? Would it have to be the Chinese would say, hey, listen, just kidding? Or could there be something else in the wings that might save this little incident from going sideways? Can we postulate that for a minute? If we're seeing all of this negative flow, the big thing is, what's the known unknown that might bring them back to center? Besides, they're still doing buybacks like you just would not believe.
Yeah, so besides some of like the creative accounting and buybacks and stuff like that, I would think that it would have to be revenue, right? Like
Gotcha.
because what we're thinking here is, are we actually getting a return on our investment? Meta's spent a ton of money in CapEx. So are we actually seeing revenue come back in the door? Their estimate is for let's see here. Their estimate is for 55. All right. Last quarter they put up 59. So I think if you're able to beat by a handful of billion here, maybe it'll turn that around. To me, it comes down to a revenue number. I think there's a lot of worry about the CapEx spending with Meta.
Yeah.
And that's aside from the whole Chinese Mantis thing that 13 is mentioned.
Yeah, and you know what? These guys simply cannot hold a bid. Look at all of 2025. Yeah. They just can't hold a bid. And so I think this is downside pressure. Full disclosure, I am short. I just want to tell you, I am short through short call spreads, but I am short here.
Okay.
And I'm not.
And then 13, another potential catalyst here, the Trump-Xi meeting, which is supposed to happen there in May. Maybe that leads to a positive resolution of the Manus debacle that's being blocked by China. So that would be another possible catalyst.
Okay. Well, there we go.
All right, we've got 5 minutes here. I'd like to cram one in here if
let's
possible.
Do it.
We did get a question here. Robot to Trade was asking, can we please take a look at TSM? He's saying there was 5.5 million put option open today. I'll see if I can find that here. Excuse me.
Okay. So again, this is by the rumor sell the news events. All of these semiconductors are going to rotate. Now, here I am just standing on a precipice going, absolutely, they're definitely going to rotate. Listen, anything can happen in the market. Statistically speaking, we have several things that tell us fades are likely. And if you've bought the dip and you're long these things, you better do yourself a favor and pick up a vertical collar. Anne-Marie, what's a vertical collar? You sell a call and you buy a put. It's cheap insurance. Now, if you bought the top, you're better off finding a short call in the money that's going to give you a ton of premium that you sell against that stock. Otherwise, you're going to bleed for a little. Listen, Goldman Sachs has been very clear about what's going on. I don't have any idea why they're not gaming us the way that they have for years and years. I really believe it's because they go, let's let Jane Street be the bad guys from now on. And so that's what's, I'm shocked that they're sending this information they only normally keep for very high net worth individuals. They're letting other people see that information. And so all roads point to a little bit of a give back. And today is really telling us that, right? So if you're looking at Taiwan Semiconductor, my expectation is, listen, it's a great company. They're going to do well, but don't be surprised if it comes back into the 200 moving average on the daily. If you go, what? $300? Look at how fast it's moved. It's 2026 and it's only April, and this thing has moved 30 odd percent. What? Over 30%. You think it's going to keep riding at that rate? I don't think so.
Yeah. Real quick here, robot to trade. Let me ask you, was it the 300 puts that expire in December of 28? I see 300 puts that expire December 15th, 2028. And I see 360 puts that expire March 19th of 2027. So those are the two big orders. Is that a puppy that I hear walking up?
Yes.
I hear the click, click, click on the tile floor. I've recognized that sound anywhere. That's a dog walking across the floor. So, okay. Good breakdown there on Meta, Anne-Marie. Thank you very much. Robot, let me know if it was the 360 or the 300s. Let me know what those contracts were that you saw opened up here today. Anne-Marie, we're going to have you back on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, absolutely fabulous. I look forward to following up with you on Friday and coming up with some new trades. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and enjoy that earnings day tomorrow and Thursday.
Yep. Stay frosty, everybody.
All right, stay frosty. I love it. One of my friends from Iowa says that. Anne-Marie, take care of yourself. We'll see you on Friday.
See you. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, we are done here for today. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all of the support, the kind words, the trading ideas, and everything else in there, even the haters. Thank you, guys. We didn't really have much of that today, but thank you anyway. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be right back here again tomorrow. We'll prepare you for that really big earnings day. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. Have a